Because of her golden blonde hair, the little girl had been confined to a dark room since birth. Only 5 years old, she had to write 100 confessions every day before she could eat. She was also frequently beaten by her uncle and aunt. The little girl's name was Mia. Her mother was the ninth saint, worshipped by half the empire. She had shining silver hair, a distinguishing feature of their family. Her mother's divine status brought the family endless wealth and power. But one day, her mother returned home pregnant, refusing to reveal the father's identity. It wasn't until Mia, with her blonde hair, was born that everyone realized her father was from the enemy demon clan. This was intolerable for the Ebelang family, the family that had raised the saint. Because Mia's mother died, giving birth to her, the family's glory and status vanished. Little Mia became a scapegoat. From then on, she was locked in the dark room, becoming a punching bag for the adults. The young girl received no care. Even the first words she learned to write were, "I killed mother." Her aunt cursed her repeatedly, calling her a demon spawn who shouldn't have been born, saying she killed her mother and deserved to die. Poor Mia was tormented until she fainted. In a long dream, she saw 4 possible outcomes for herself. They all began the same way. She was released from the dark room. But in the first dream, her aunt ordered her to give a drink to a red-haired boy. The boy drank it without suspicion. The next second, he died from the poison. The boy was actually the demon lord, Bould's second in command. Using Mia, they eliminated him, which triggered a war between the demons and the gods. Much later, Mia unexpectedly met a man who claimed to be her father. This man was Bould, the demon lord. In the second dream, Mia was killed by her uncle, who then threw her body, ravaged by hounds, at her father's doorstep. This vicious act again ignited a war. In the third dream, Mia deliberately provoked the maid and escaped during the ensuing chaos. She was taken in by a kind shopkeeper and lived in anonymity as a worker. The fourth dream was short but peculiar. In it, her father held her, gently stroking her head, but called her by a different name, Neil. Although it wasn't her name, Mia felt sweetness and warmth. Mia awoke from her dreams. She had a feeling that one of these dreams must be true. Maybe she could escape this hell. She even devised a plan. Step 1. Find her father and tell him about her uncle's conspiracy. Step 2. Ask her father for child support and information. Her father in the dream was very gentle. He should agree to this request. Step 3. Ask her father to find her a safe place to live. Step 4. Receive the child support and start her new life. But all of this had a prerequisite. Mia knelt and prayed devoutly. If there are gods among demons, please bless me with a kind father. Finally, the day she had been longing for arrived. She first pretended to be obedient and greeted her uncle and aunt. Then she was taken to a new room. Originally, like in her first dream, her aunt would have taken her to a banquet, but her earlier tantrum had exhausted her aunt's patience. She was left alone in the room. Just like in her third dream, she waited for the maid to bring her food. After a while, a maid arrived with food. This was the same maid who always bullied her in her dreams. Just as in her dream, the food was rotten and stinking, and there were no utensils. Mia began, as in her dream, to demand the maid feed her, threatening to complain to her uncle, the count, if she refused. The maid told her to wait while she fetched utensils. Mia threw a tantrum, demanding to be hand-fed. The maid gritted her teeth, cursing Mia in her mind. Mia pointed to the door, demanding she prepare a new meal and bring it in. Otherwise, she would tell her uncle everything. The maid, finally losing her patience, revealed her cruel nature. She burst out, calling Mia a demon spawn, but quickly covered Mia's mouth when she started to yell. She had taken it upon herself to bully Mia. Just then, the maid outside announced the Earl's arrival. Mia seized the opportunity, knocking over the food and slapping herself hard across the face. The Earl entered to find Mia with half her face swollen, tearfully accusing the maid of forcing her to eat with her hands. She added that if she didn't eat, she would go bald like her uncle. This was something Mia knew from her dream. Baldness was the Earl's lifelong insecurity, and a forbidden topic. Anyone who crossed that line faced a grim fate. Mia successfully used this to enrage the bald Earl. Her veiled insults about his coldness and gluttony added fuel to the fire. The maid, previously so arrogant, was stunned. Before she could explain, she was dragged away for punishment. Mia recalled her dream. She had to provoke all the maids to be taken to the laundry room for punishment. That was her chance to escape. The Earl ignored her afterward. Mia grew more confident. This was her small rebellion, her chance at life. 2 days later, the moment Mia had been waiting for finally arrived. The maids roughly dragged her to the laundry room. Having suffered at Mia's hands before, they intended to take their revenge while the Earl was away. Buckets of cold water were poured over Mia's head. The maids mocked her, calling her a filthy demon spawn. Mia shivered in the cold. She looked towards a hole in the corner. In her dream, that was her escape route to freedom. Just then, her aunt walked in. While the maids were momentarily distracted, Mia seized the opportunity and bit one of the maid's arms hard. She snatched the clothes from the maid's hands and quickly scrambled into the hole. Dodging the maid lunging after her, Mia finally escaped. She ran as fast as she could, determined to leave the darkness behind and run towards hope and a better future. But street thugs noticed her newly acquired fine dress and planned to steal it and sell it. Mia ran as fast as her legs would carry her. She couldn't be caught here. Finally, she squeezed into a crowd of people. Overwhelmed by the bustling scene, which she had never experienced before and exhausted from running, Mia collapsed in the middle of the road. A horse-drawn carriage charged toward her. The horse's hooves were raised high, about to come crashing down on her. Mia closed her eyes in fear, but the expected impact never came. A tall man appeared behind her. It was her father. Looking at the distressed, unfamiliar girl, the Duke sensed his own aura within her. Regardless, she was adorable. He decided to take her home. Wrapped in a blanket, Mia huddled on the sofa, still trembling. She observed her father, handsome and powerful, radiating an imposing aura just by standing there. Mia couldn't help but feel intimidated. She shook her head, trying to compose herself, and strained her ears to listen to the adults' conversation. The butler explained that since Mia was a noble lady, the demons would arrange for Tina, a gender-neutral attendant, to serve her. She would receive the same treatment as the young masters. Many of these words were unfamiliar to Mia. Furthermore, she hadn't dreamt of what happened next. She forced herself to stay alert, preparing for whatever was to come. But everything that happened today was so overwhelming. Mia couldn't help but feel drowsy. She took a large gulp of strong tea, hoping to wake herself up, but the bitterness made her grimace. Both adults looked at her simultaneously. Mia forced herself to appear calm. She needed to act like an adult to be taken seriously. The Duke asked the butler if children weren't used to strong tea. "I'm not sure," the butler replied. "It seems she doesn't like it. Abel can drink anything, though. Is there anything he doesn't like to drink?" The Duke considered this and decided it made sense. He instructed the butler to bring Mia something a child would enjoy. Seeing the Duke about to leave, Mia hurriedly stood up and called out to him. She rushed forward and hugged the man's leg, shouting, "You're my real father." Before the Duke could react, Mia blurted out the words she had practiced countless times. "I want to make a deal with you." However, the Duke seemed to misunderstand her, asking, "If we don't make a deal, are you going to poison me? Just like a demon?" Seeing her words twisted, Mia was about to explain, but the Duke suddenly bent down and picked her up. He noticed Mia's foot, scalded by the hot tea, and asked gently, "Were you in such a hurry to talk to me?" He then instructed the butler to treat Mia's burn. The butler gathered a ball of white light in his hand, and the wound miraculously healed. Is this the power of magic? Mia wondered. Mia quickly bowed and apologized. The butler was inwardly pleased. This was the first time a female demon had apologized to him. After the butler left, Mia gathered her thoughts. She seriously told the Duke that he mustn't attend tonight's banquet. She had gone through so much trouble to find him just to tell him this. Although puzzled, the Duke asked, "Do you want money?" The unexpected question stunned Mia. She had planned to ask her father for child support and information fees. She hadn't expected him to offer it himself. Mia held out her hand, asking, "Can I have half now, as a down payment?" She worried she was being too forward. To her surprise, the Duke agreed and asked what she wanted as collateral. "Something small, shiny, and expensive," she replied. That way, even if she didn't get anything else, she could sell it later. The Duke removed a cufflink and handed it to Mia. Mia stared at the sparkling gem in her hand. Although she had worked in a jewelry store in her dream, she had never seen a gem like this before. Regardless, anything belonging to the Duke couldn't be cheap. Mia carefully explained the Earl's plot. Someone wants to kill Abel. The culprit is Earl LeBlanc. The Duke's face suddenly turned cold. Mia was also frightened. She stammered, "They'll use a child to give Abel a poisoned drink." The Duke, though shocked, wasn't entirely surprised. It seems Lelefin's lapdog has finally gone mad. Seeing Mia's timid expression, the Duke indicated he understood. "The child support and the matter of you being my daughter We'll discuss later. He stroked her head and said gently, "Don't run towards me so recklessly next time." However, this gentle gesture startled Mia. She ran to the side, took off her dress, and offered it to the Duke. "Please use this to wipe your hand. It's dirty." It was the best dress she owned. Using it to wipe her father's hand, surely he wouldn't mind. Watching Mia's thoughtful gesture, the Duke left with a complex expression. Soon, a maid named Tina came to attend to Mia. Seeing the red horns on Tina's head, Mia was delighted. Tina explained, "Because I'm a low-ranking demon, I can't hide my horns like you, miss, a high-ranking demon." Mia was confused. "A high-ranking demon? Are you talking about me? But I don't have horns." Tina smiled reassuringly. "You're still too young. Your horns haven't grown in yet." Tina led Mia to a bright, luxurious bathroom. Mia sat in the large bathtub. It was her first time taking a hot bath, and she was curious about everything. Remembering the butler mentioning Tina was neutral, Mia voiced her question. It turned out that lower-ranking demons are genderless. Their feminine appearance is merely superficial, designed to better serve higher-ranking demons. Tina felt incredibly honored to serve a high-ranking female demon like Mia. Looking at the proud Tina, Mia fell into deep thought. Her aunt and uncle had always told her that demons were evil, but Tina was gentle and took such careful care of her. Then Tina noticed the distinct, beautiful mark on Mia's chest. She exclaimed that Mia would become a very powerful demon once she awakened. Mia, however, only saw a birthmark, but to Tina, who possessed demonic power, it was a vivid butterfly. Mia was delighted to learn she had such a beautiful thing on her body. She wondered, since her father already had 2 sons, he must be married, and his wife would probably hate her, just like her aunt. However, Tina was unfamiliar with the concept of marriage. Demons didn't marry, and childcare was the male demon's responsibility. Tina told Mia that if she ever encountered a deadbeat dad who refused to raise his child, she could just get rid of him. Thinking about how her father had raised her brothers single-handedly, Mia felt a pang of envy. But she quickly buried the feeling. Such a perfect family didn't belong to her. She needed to complete the deal and start her new life. Before bed, Mia drank a glass of sweet milk. Looking at the soft, fluffy substance in the glass, she realized it was her first time having a marshmallow. Tucked into bed, Mia asked where her father was. He had just returned from the battlefield and still had many matters to attend to. No wonder he didn't have time to listen to her. He would probably stop Abel from drinking the poison wine, though. Mia recalled her first hot bath and her first marshmallow milk. With these happy memories, she felt she could bravely face the future. But to avoid getting too attached, Mia wrapped herself in a blanket and slept on the floor. That way, leaving wouldn't be so hard. After arranging for Mia's accommodations, the demon Duke began to compile all the information regarding her origins. The butler reported that the Eblong family had dispatched all their spies, as if searching for something. So that was it. He would investigate Al-Shira Abel. The god's 9th daughter had approached the Duke before the war with a shocking proposition. Since they were both single, why not have a child together? The Duke was taken aback. A god's daughter asking a demon for such a thing. Al-Shira confessed she was tired of her current body. The Duke, preoccupied with the impending war, had refused her outright. Now it seemed Al-Shira must have stolen his spiritual energy that day, somehow conceived and given birth to Mia. She had sacrificed her life to bring a child into the world. Bearing a demon's child while possessing the power of a god was fatal. The butler informed the Duke that young Master Abel had agreed not to attend the banquet. Understanding, the Duke transformed into a wisp of smoke and vanished into the air. He decided to see for himself what the Eblongs were up to. Inside a magnificent palace, Earl Eblong, usually so arrogant, now knelt trembling on the floor. Silver-haired figures wearing masks surrounded him. The leader, with a golden mask, spoke in an icy voice, berating the Earl for squandering the only chance to assassinate Abel. He couldn't even control a 5-year-old girl, leading to the plan's failure. Utterly foolish, the Earl pleaded for one last chance. But discarded trash had no further use. With a wave of the man's hand, the doors opened. Earl Eblong was flung back uncontrollably. He collapsed on the ground, reflecting on his life. As a man, he was incompetent. He had planned to rely on his sister, chosen as a holy maiden, and deluded himself into thinking he would one day become a cardinal. But his sister gave birth to a demon daughter. Just when he thought all his hopes were dashed, he heard Lerafin's voice ordering him to lock the demon child away. He was told not to treat her well. One day, she would be useful. He faithfully carried out Larafin's orders, and finally, his opportunity arrived. But the child escaped. Passers-by saw the Earl sitting dazed on the ground. Just as they were about to inquire, they noticed a glaring red brand on his forehead. This was Larafin's punishment for fallen followers, a sign that he had been completely expelled from the family. The Earl was ruthlessly driven out. He climbed into his carriage, distraught, trying to figure out how to temporarily conceal the mark. Just then, a sound rang out. The Earl was horrified to discover a strange, dark figure. It appeared in front of the carriage. In the next second, his screams pierced the night. Mia was still wondering if her presence was too insignificant, causing her demon father to forget about her. Why else would he not let her leave after so many days? Tina, seeing Mia's increasingly furrowed brow, thinking she was bored, offered to take her on a tour of the mansion. If they visited all 666 rooms, she guaranteed Mia wouldn't be bored at all. And on the third floor, there was the Duke's trophy room. At this, Mia perked up. Going there might help her understand her father a little better. Because little Mia was so adorable, the passing maids all peeked at her. Tina led her to a large door and grandly announced that this was the Soleil Diamond Vault. Mia was astonished. These diamonds, like sunlight itself, shimmered brilliantly. They could only be mined from a single dragon's lair in the entire world. A single Soleil diamond on a ring could make you a millionaire, allowing you to live a life of luxury for 20 years. Mia wondered if they really needed an entire room just for one diamond. As the door opened, Mia gasped. A diamond tree, laden with fist-sized gems, shimmered with dazzling light. This level of wealth was beyond description. Mia recalled seeing one in her third dream. She never thought she'd see so many in real life. Mia carefully observed them. Suddenly, she seemed to notice something and asked Tina where all these diamonds came from. Tina explained that the upper portion had been collected 5 years ago. The lower part had been filled recently, all painstakingly gathered by the butler, Reeves. Mia thought for a moment and decided to tell Tina the truth. She pointed to a diamond in the lower section. This one is fake. Not just this one. All the diamonds in the lower section are fake. Seeing Tina's stunned expression, Mia felt a pang of regret. Had she been too blunt, they would probably scold her. But those were definitely fakes. The internal bubble trails of genuine and counterfeit gems were completely different. To Mia's surprise, Tina didn't scold her, but went to call the butler. Reeves arrived, breathless. Mia explained, at the height adults normally see, the diamonds nearby are real, but the lower ones aren't. The culprit probably thought adults wouldn't bend down to look, so they swapped them all out. And even if children looked, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Mia actively helped, pointing out all the fake diamonds. The butler had helped her heal her injuries before. This time, she was helping him. The debt she owed would gradually decrease. Tina looked at Mia with adoration, showering her with praise. She asked how Mia could tell the difference. Mia was a bit embarrassed. She couldn't tell her she learned it in a dream. She made up an excuse: this skill can earn me food. They said I eat a lot, and that raising me costs a lot of money. Tina looked at Mia with sympathy. Who would dare say such a thing to her lady? The demon Duke looked at his sleeping daughter and asked Tina about the progress of things. Tina said she had just shown Miss Mia the Hall of Offerings. Just now, Mia wanted to learn more about her demon father, the Duke. Mia earnestly examined the Duke's glorious achievements. Since Mia was short, Tina thoughtfully carried her while explaining each item. This is the cursed bracelet. The Duke suppressed the evil within it when he was only 4 years old. This is the cursed doll that chases its owner. Even if you throw it away, it comes back. Mia was a little scared by how it suddenly changed position. Tina reassured her, don't worry. The Duke subdued it when he was 7. Now it's just an ordinary toy. Now look at this pile of ashes. This is actually the remains of a vampire the Duke destroyed. Mia couldn't help but admire her father's prowess in dealing with supernatural incidents. Tina showed Mia the trophies of the Duke's accomplishments after he became an adult. Hundreds of monster and beast heads, preserved as specimens, covered the walls. Just one glance made Mia's blood run cold. She couldn't control her trembling, because in a previous dream, that she had been brutally murdered by her uncle. Seeing these specimens, she couldn't help but wonder if she would end up like them one day. After all, her father was someone who even dared to take an emperor's head. Tina, thinking Mia was frightened by the monsters, said, "These are all dead. There's nothing to be afraid of. Look at that sword." The Duke used it to sever the heads of these monsters. Looking at the gleaming blade, Mia broke out in a cold sweat. She felt a chill on her neck, her face growing paler. She fainted. The Duke inquired about Mia's recent well-being. Tina reported nervously. She's been fairly calm during the day and eats well. However, I've noticed something strange. I see her asleep in her bed at night, but later, without knowing when, she ends up sleeping on the floor. The Duke was puzzled. Why would she sleep on the floor when there's a soft bed? Is it uncomfortable? Tina thought Mia seemed afraid of being happy. The Duke was confused. Tina explained, I think Mia doesn't see this place as her home. She never makes any special requests and obeys all my arrangements. She doesn't even act spoiled or throw tantrums. It's like she thinks she'll leave at any moment. She's indifferent to everything. The Duke pondered for a moment. This child fears happiness because she doesn't understand the value of a demon's existence. He instructed Tina to teach her about the demon world. Erase the influence the Lorafins instilled in her. Let her know that demons can enjoy happiness, express their desires, and strive for what they want, especially since she's a high-ranking demon. How could she be afraid of happiness? Looking at the sleeping girl, the man felt a pang of pity. His two foolish sons had never known misfortune, yet his only daughter had suffered so much. She didn't even know his name. The little girl was eating a spicy, mushroom-flavored cake. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appeared before her, riding on a cloud. The girl looked closely. It was her demon father. Mia looked at the cake on her dress, panicking. Oh no, I can't afford to replace this dress if it's stained. The Duke, sensing her worry, said softly, I've confirmed it. You truly are my Mia. But how did you know I was your father, Mia? Mia hesitated for a moment, then decided to tell him about her dream. She explained how she learned about her father's voice in a dream and went through many hardships to find him. However, Mia's name wasn't on the Eblong family registry, indicating she hadn't been treated well there. He noticed her thin clothing from their first meeting. The man gently stroked the girl's hair. You must have suffered a lot. Mia's buried grievances surfaced, and she looked at her father with tears in her eyes. She told him the adventurous tale of her escape. Mia thought, I've suffered so much to find you. Dad should give me more support. Could you really escape from the alley on your own? Yes, I live there in my third dream. The Duke wondered, you have 3 dreams. Mia held up 4 fingers. 4, Dad. The Duke thought his daughter was truly gifted, encountering the future before even growing up. Demons typically grow to the size of a 10-year-old human within 5 years of birth, their initial growth spurt. Mia was so small because she had been suppressed by Larafin's aura. Now that she was here, she would grow quickly. As a dream demon, Mia could foresee the future through her dreams. The stronger her ability, the clearer the future she saw, allowing her to choose the best path. Mia now realized she had unconsciously chosen the 3rd dream. She had some regrets. She wished she had chosen the 4th dream. In that dream, her father doted on her with exceptional tenderness, calling her Neil. How extravagant would the doting demon Duke be with his beloved daughter? Her toys would be made of gold and encrusted with jewels. He would convert the treasury into a playroom, just because his precious daughter loved money and sparkly things. If his daughter came to see him, anyone who dared to glance at her would be chased away. Her adorable appearance was only for him to see. Mia's single daddy would melt his heart. He pictured his daughter holding a cotton candy, offering it to him. This is especially for you, Daddy. Just moments ago, father and daughter had shared a heart-to-heart conversation all night. Mia explained her experiences, and the Duke formally accepted her as his daughter. The Duke explained that female demons were sent to the royal palace at birth. But if you don't want to go, I can use my authority to prevent it. Mia didn't want to go to a strange place. It would make it harder to leave later. The Duke looked at his precious child in his arms. His heart warmed. So, you want to stay with me? Then from now on, you'll call me Daddy. Since she was his daughter, he would naturally choose her name. He wasn't satisfied with the name Mia. A noble demon child shouldn't have a name given by one of Earl Eblong's lackeys. He would need to think of a new one. Unknowingly, it was time for bed. The Duke cautioned Mia. From now on, you must not tell anyone about your dreams. This is a rule dream demons must follow. Your dreams belong only to you. After the Duke left, Mia felt relieved. Although she hadn't chosen the 4th dream, her father was treating her well now. However, if she stayed here, she would disrupt their lives. After receiving a new name and some support, she would tell her father she was leaving. She would buy her own little house. Even if it was small and shabby, it wouldn't matter. But right now, she couldn't afford it. She took out the jeweled cufflinks her father had given her and examined them. She wondered if they were worth enough to buy a house. Lost in thought and getting nowhere, she decided to just ask her father. Meanwhile, the Duke was instructing his subordinates to arrange Mia's future life. Because Mia had fainted earlier after seeing the monster specimens, he ordered them to have the monsters recreated as cute toys made of gold. With more exposure, she wouldn't be afraid anymore. Children should play with things they like. His eldest son, Cain, liked books. His second son, Abel, liked weapons. His little daughter liked money and jewels. He would provide her with all of them. Thinking of his daughter's exceptional talent, able to dream 4 detailed dreams at such a young age, the Duke beamed with pride and couldn't help but brag to his butler, Reeves. "She's truly my precious daughter." Reeves sighed. "Your Highness has become completely smitten with your daughter." The Duke planned to announce Mia's identity to the world soon. But before that, he would visit the World Tree. Legend had it that the World Tree knew everything and could predict the abilities and destinies of demons and the children of Larafin. He told Mia to eat well, remembering that she would be sleeping on the floor. The Duke told Mia that bugs and evil spirits would roam this mansion at night. Seeing his daughter's frightened expression, the Duke comforted her, saying that the bugs and evil spirits only crawled on the ground, so it would be safe to sleep in the bed. He looked at Mia earnestly. "This is your home. You don't have to be so polite." Mia asked anxiously, "Father, you don't mind me staying here? My sudden appearance won't bother you?" "Of course not, because you are my child." Mia tentatively asked, "What if I want to live outside? Will someone come and arrest me?" The Duke understood his daughter's worries. He earnestly told her that he had never thought of driving her away when she was young. "So just stay here with peace of mind." Mia snuggled in her father's arms, feeling a sense of security she had never experienced before. Everything here felt kind and warm. Could she really consider this place home? The next day, Tina, entrusted with an important task by the Duke, transformed into a knowledge teacher and taught Mia about the demon world. In this world, demons are divided into high-ranking, ultimate, and low-ranking. Only low-ranking demons are born genderless. There are 666 high-ranking demons in total. This number will never increase, and each of their abilities is unique. Mia thought that since she was the dream demon, only she possessed the power of dreams. Also, demons have different names for the days of the week than humans. Father is the death demon, born on the day of lust, and brother Abel is the fury demon, born on the day of wrath. Because his birthday and abilities perfectly matched, Abel was also very powerful. But in Mia's impression, Abel seemed quiet. Could it be that the poison wine was too strong, and he collapsed after just 1 cup? But Tina said demons had no weaknesses. However, in the previous dream, both she and Abel had died. This worried Mia. She needed to find out more. She asked Tina which day she was born. Tina was a little embarrassed. "I was born on the day of gluttony, so I eat a lot. I can never get full." Tina suddenly remembered. The young master will visit Mia today. Mia was startled. Could it be Abel? In the previous dream, he had been poisoned by the wine she gave him. She wasn't ready to see him yet. Tina thought Mia was worried that the young master wouldn't like her. But how could that be? No demon would dislike her. Everyone likes her. Mia was moved to tears. She felt that she was worthy of being loved. Here, she could live openly and with dignity. Mia went to the dining room, feeling content. She heard someone call her name. The voice was incredibly familiar. Mia's heart sank. It was her aunt. Mia froze, terrified at the sight of her aunt. How did she find this place? In this moment, she felt like she was back in the past. Was being with her father all a dream? Her aunt, feigning concern, approached her step by step. She grabbed Mia's shoulder, cursing and trying to drag her away. Mia cried out in fear. Fortunately, Tina arrived in time and shielded her. Her aunt was furious. These demons dared to stop her. She used her holy power to attack Tina. The low-ranking demon was no match for her aunt. Tina was quickly knocked down, bleeding profusely. Soon, 2 more servants rushed forward to block her aunt. Covered in wounds, they still protected Mia as she escaped. Seeing everyone injured while protecting her, Mia felt incredibly guilty. She was too weak to do anything. No matter where she fled, her aunt would find her. What should she do? That disgusting human. What's she doing here? Mia looked up. A man with red hair and red eyes strode towards them, wreathed in flames. He had a commanding presence, and the red firelight around him burned fiercely. Mia gasped. It was Abel. Abel advanced steadily. Seeing that she was no match for him, her aunt turned to flee, but the man grabbed her face. With this little ability, you really think you're something. Abel's face was full of scorn. His grip tightened. With a sharp, piercing scream, her aunt was instantly engulfed in flames. She collapsed on the ground, motionless. Mia looked up and saw Abel petting a small, fluffy creature. Can't you talk? I'm not a fluffy creature. I'm Mia's fluffy creature. Abel had already heard from his father about this little sister. Seeing her today, she seemed even more adorable than he'd imagined. But what happened earlier had left him fuming. He kicked Tina, berating her for being so weak she couldn't even stop a human. Useless. Tina bowed repeatedly, apologizing, but Abel continued his tirade, jabbing a finger towards her face. Mia couldn't stand it any longer. Stop it, she yelled. Tina was only injured protecting me. She did nothing wrong. Is it a crime to be weak? Abel scoffed. What else would you call it? Tina, exasperated, yelled back, You idiot. I'm small and weak and young, whether in dreams or reality. I'm always pushed around. I am weak, but I've never done anything wrong. Seeing tears welling up in Tina's eyes, Abel panicked. He scratched his head. Well, if a noble demoness commands it, I suppose I have to listen. Mia demanded he apologize to Tina. Tell her you're a grumpy brute. Hearing those words, Abel's face darkened. Afraid of what Abel might do, Mia quickly stepped in front of Tina, glaring defiantly at him. Abel was exasperated, but there was nothing he could do. He mumbled a half-hearted sorry and stormed off. Tina, looking at her mistress, was moved to tears. And not just her. All the servants present looked at Mia with adoration. Their noble young mistress had stood up for them, lowly demons. They swore they would never forget this honor. Mia was shocked by the scene before her. These servants didn't even seem to know about doctors or medicine. Why did they believe that if they were unwell, they should just quietly die? Mia felt the stark inequalities of this world. These low-ranking demons were truly pitiful. She used bandages to dress their wounds, and the servants danced with joy. Their mistress was truly too kind. Mia was puzzled. My aunt just barged in through the front door. Don't we have any guards? Tina explained that because the masters of the house were so powerful, there had never been a need for guards. They had overlooked the fact that Mia needed protection. Hearing this, Mia was dejected. It was because she was so weak that she had been attacked. There was no way she could live on her own. She longed to grow stronger, to become a powerful demon. As she spoke, Mia's vision went black and she fainted. She suddenly found herself in an unfamiliar room. It was a brightly lit ballroom, filled with chattering guests. Mia knew she was dreaming again. She overheard whispers. Someone was plotting to kidnap a young girl. Mia felt a sense of foreboding. She had to hear more. This could be a premonition of something to come. Just as she opened the door, she was spotted. A sinister hand reached out for her. The scene shifted to a smoke-filled battlefield. This was another dream. Mia was now a young woman. Filled with rage, she screamed for her father. The feeling of betrayal consumed her. A wounded Abel urged her to flee. He explained that the moment their father died, his death power would be unleashed, killing everyone present. But Mia refused to abandon him. She saw her father bound by chains, kneeling before a mysterious figure. The setting sun painted the sky blood red, reflecting in Mia's tear-streaked face. A deafening explosion. Then silence. Back in the Duke's mansion, Reeves faced a furious Abel. Behind him, Abel's fire beast growled menacingly. Reeves frantically tried to recall how he had offended the young master again. He trembled as Abel unleashed a torrent of abuse, accusing him of negligence and dereliction of duty. Confused, he caught sight of Tina, looking exhausted. Had something happened to the young mistress? After Reeves' treatment, Mia's fever finally broke. Abel breathed a sigh of relief. This little sister of his was a real handful. So young, yet already daring to order him around. How amusing. For his sister's safety, he first ordered Tina to post guards throughout Mia's bedroom and the hallway, allowing passage only to those recognized. Chains in the area beneath the windows were also to be secured. If any suspicious individuals were encountered, they were to be killed on sight. He also assigned a guard to act as a human shield to protect Mia. Finally, so he could see Mia every day, he ordered someone to deliver a portrait of her, painted by Yuan, every single day. He finally had a little sister, and he would protect her well. He wanted Mia to know that only her brother had her best interests at heart. Boyfriends and the like could just stay far, far away. The girl possessed the ability to dream of the future. But in her dream, she saw her father die before her eyes. Mia awoke from the nightmare, still shaken. Turning her head, she found a Haijing, its tail on fire, lying beside her. The big softy, instead of biting, nuzzled up against Mia. Mia was charmed and gradually forgot the fear brought on by the nightmare. Hugging the large cat-like creature, she drifted back to sleep. It turned out to be Abel's fire familiar, Eton. Having only met Mia for the first time, Abel had already become a doting brother. He was protecting his sister in his own way. Early the next morning, Mia met the two dedicated individuals, Ben and Doria, assigned to her by her brother. Hearing that Tina needed 3 days to recover from her previous injuries, Mia felt a pang of guilt. Doria comforted Mia, telling her not to worry, because the lower the rank of a demon, the faster their wounds heal. Conversely, high-ranking demons are powerful, but their injuries are difficult to heal. Therefore, they need to have a high-ranking demon skilled in healing arts by their side. Mia then learned that Reeves, the butler, possessed the strongest healing magic. Just then, Abel appeared, full of energy. "Fluffy, what are you doing?" Mia bristled. "I'm not Fluffy." Looking at his sister's adorable reaction, Abel was delighted. Today's pink and fluffy little ball was just too cute for words. Abel, fearing Mia was bored staying home all day, offered to take her out. But Mia, worried about running into her uncle and aunt, refused. "There's delicious food at home. I'm not going out." Abel tempted her. "There's even more delicious food outside. There's cotton candy and strawberry pie." Hearing about cotton candy, Mia was slightly swayed but then said, "There's scary people outside." Hearing his sister say this, Abel's expression suddenly turned cold. Had someone bullied her? Although it was fleeting, Mia noticed it. Abel reassured her, "Don't worry, your brother will protect you." Seeing Mia still hesitating, Abel resorted to his ultimate move. "Actually, I wanted to give you a jeweled hair clip. We can go to the jewelry store while we're out." Hearing about jewels, Mia's eyes instantly lit up. If I'd known there were jewels involved, I would have agreed immediately. In the carriage, Mia learned how powerful her father and brother were. Abel was ranked 37th among demons, while his older brother, Cain, was 10th. Abel's face was full of admiration when he mentioned his older brother. Cain was a dark demon born on the day of Pride. During his initial growth spurt, he defeated all the powerful demons around him. Abel gushed about his older brother, making Mia even more curious about his appearance. Father is ranked 2nd, so who's first? The first is, of course, the king. From the moment he saw his sister, the man willingly became a doting brother. To make his sister happy, he rented out the entire jewelry store and let her choose whatever she wanted. The owner, seeing the young demon lord arrive, rushed forward to offer his assistance. Mia was dazzled by the array of sparkling gems, but instead of choosing a large, glittering gemstone, she picked a pure white unicorn figurine. Abel suspected Mia was trying to save him money. "The gem on this is so small." The owner helpfully informed him, "This is the most expensive item in the store." "As expected of my sister." Excellent taste. Mia was curious why it was the most expensive, because it was personally crafted by a high-ranking demon. It's also imbued with the creator's inherent abilities. Seeing Mia's confused expression, Abel explained, "Demons can imbue gems with power that matches their attributes. It's too much trouble to show you. You probably can't even do it anyway." Abel's short temper flared. "Fluffy, you dare look down on me." He immediately went to grab the most expensive ruby to show his sister what he could do. Mia looked at the unicorn figurine, completely captivated. It exuded a sweet, sugary fragrance. Its creator must be beautiful. I really look forward to meeting them. But Abel fidgeted. He had just learned that the unicorn's creator was the young master of the Bajibute family, a fellow who exuded an alluring aura. Why did Fluffy have to pick something made by that guy? Abel fretted. "I absolutely can't let that ill-mannered fellow meet Fluffy." He threatened the shop owner, "If the fact that Mia bought the unicorn gets out, you'll pay with your life." Abel fell into deep thought. His family scent was naturally somewhat faint, while Mia's fragrance was much sweeter. The moment she matures, that fragrance will definitely attract all the demons. Father didn't send her to the royal palace, but kept her at home when she was young. Doesn't that mean he wants me, as her older brother, to protect her? Those who get close to Fluffy will face my wrath. Finally, it was Abel's time to shine. Mia watched intently as a flame ignited at Abel's fingertips. He focused his energy. The moment the flame touched the ruby, it melted into the gem. Mia looked on with admiration. Will I be able to do that when I grow up? After receiving an affirmative answer, Mia was overjoyed. She caressed the ruby, feeling its warmth. With a wave of Abel's hand, the shop owner displayed a large selection of gemstone hair accessories for Mia to choose from. Mia's eyes immediately landed on a blue butterfly hair clip. Simple, elegant, and easy to wear. Mia suddenly remembered that there were many butterfly patterns at home. That's right, the butterfly was the symbol of their Dindabul family. From now on, wherever I go, as long as I see a flag with a butterfly symbol, that's our family's territory. Other demon families also had their own symbols. Abel listed more than a dozen families in one breath, but even after trying hard, Mia only remembered one name, Bejibut. Perhaps it was easier to pronounce. After a day of shopping, Mia returned home laden with treasures. Although she hadn't fully adjusted to such a blissful life, at least she wouldn't feel uneasy anymore. In a huge castle surrounded by flowers, a blond young man was painting. A holy unicorn was taking shape on the wall. He seemed to sense something. It seems the unicorn has found its owner. Ever since he had a precious daughter, the demon duke found his son increasingly irritating. His daughter was sweet and adorable. Rushing into his arms to act spoiled the moment they met. His son only knew how to anger him, arguing with him every time they saw each other. He wanted to throw him out. However, father and son shared one common goal. Anyone who bullied Mia had to die. Just a moment ago, Mia had woken up to see her father return and immediately rushed into his arms, acting spoiled. Looking at his sweet, soft daughter, the Duke felt a pang of guilt. Because of that woman causing trouble earlier, he hadn't been by his daughter's side. Mia's understanding nature made him incredibly grateful. The Duke told Mia that they would soon be going to the World Authority to inquire about her birth time and summon her own personal familiar. A familiar would belong solely to her and accompany her until death. Mia wondered what her father's familiar was like. Suddenly, huge butterfly wings unfolded from the Duke's back. Then, a red-haired butterfly spirit peeked out. "This is my familiar, Hera. Say hello." Hera couldn't speak and shyly hid behind the Duke. Mia really wanted to have her own familiar soon. That way, someone would be able to protect her. Even if she encountered those things from her nightmares again, she wouldn't be so scared. Familiar and master share thoughts and can communicate mentally. At this moment, Hera is praising Mia for being adorable and lovable. Mia happily stands up, but loses her balance and falls backward. The demon Duke quickly catches her. Mia looks at her father's suddenly serious expression. She wonders if she's being too unruly. After all, she's new to this family, and if she keeps acting spoiled, her father might dislike her. "It's my honor to raise you. You don't have to be afraid of anything." But Mia, drowsy with sleep, doesn't hear these words. Abel asks his father about Cain's plans. He learns that his older brother will return after Mia's celebratory feast. The king will also return. Abel can't help but complain. Every time the king sees him, he looks like he wants to eat him alive. Once he starts talking, Abel rambles on and on. The Duke looks at him silently. No matter how he looks at it, his son is inferior to his daughter. Everyone fears his power of death. Even his two sons won't approach him unguarded. Only his daughter will jump into his arms and act spoiled. The Duke suddenly feels a pang of fear. What if he hadn't caught her just now? What if she had fallen? But his daughter is just so cute. He wants the whole world to know he has such an adorable daughter. But he also wants to keep her hidden just for himself. Looking at his son beside him, he just feels annoyed. He heard that while he was away, Abel took Mia out. He needs to find something for him to do to keep him away from Mia. Go catch a minotaur. I want to make Mia some strength-enhancing pills. Why me? I don't want to go. I want to play with Fluffy. Fluffy? What's Fluffy? This kid even gave her a nickname. Abel can't help but brag to his father. Fluffy's name is Mia. Didn't you know? Looking at his son's smug and boisterous manner, the Duke can't stand it and summons his familiar to throw him out. Abel is equally unyielding and immediately summons his big cat. The two men face off. But before their father-son duel, they have more important matters to attend to. That woman from before tried to steal Mia. It's time to settle the score. The man wants revenge for his abused sister. As a powerful demon, he sets the entire Earl's mansion ablaze. Abel and his father find the place where Mia used to live. The filthy, cramped room is filled with papers covered in writing. Abel reads it word by word. It's my fault Mom died. The Duke had previously captured Earl Eblong and learned everything about Mia from him. But nothing compares to the reality before him, filling him with heartache and rage. He personally experiences the torment Mia endured. The man's eyes are filled with malice. He unleashes his power of death. Let everyone in this mansion experience the eternal cycle of death. Mia is awakened by a murmuring sound. In her drowsiness, she sees her 3 attendants excitedly drawing her portrait. Every single one of Mia's actions is incredibly cute in their eyes. They shower her with compliments. For milady, for milady, for milady. They practically run into walls for her. Seeing that Mia is awake, the 3 of them go out to prepare. Mia immediately notices the drawing hidden under the table. She picks it up and looks. The drawing depicts her with sweet, charming, sleepy eyes. Is this me? How many filters did they use to draw this? Hearing someone coming, Mia quickly hides the drawing back under the table, but accidentally bumps her forehead. Seeing their young mistress injured, Tina drops the basin and rushes out to call the butler. The commotion is so loud that all the servants crowd together, vying to express their concern for Mia. Milady is hurt. Is Milady all right? Milady, are your ribs broken? Milady, can you still breathe? Mia is rendered speechless by the dramatic scene. Tina returns and pushes aside the throng of male servants. She picks up Mia and comforts her. The butler will be here right away. She turns to the male servants and boasts, I can hold Milady. You can't. Ha ha. The male servants are envious and resentful. Reeves, the butler, appeared in his pajamas, clearly not fully awake. He treated the injury on Mia's forehead. Suddenly, he realized something wasn't right. Mia became a little nervous because of his serious expression. Mia heard the butler say something about her growing legs, but she didn't quite understand. The male servants outside burst into enthusiastic cheers. Mia saw her father walk in and rushed into his arms. Her father calmly announced, my daughter has grown legs. Today will be a family holiday. Is it really that big of a deal? Mia asked. Tina explained, the young masters also have their own leg-growing celebrations. But miss, yours is a bit more special. Today is the day to visit the World Tree. Abel was waiting for Mia outside early in the morning. Today, the handsome Abel stunned Mia. Are you really that popular, Abel? Seeing his sister's rare look of admiration, Abel narcissistically waved his hand. Fluffy, my popularity is like air. But isn't air invisible? Mia thought, is he really that unpopular? Poor Abel. Mia felt sorry for her silly brother. In the carriage, Mia worried. What if we run into people from Lorraine today? Don't worry. If a conflict occurs in neutral territory, the World Tree will extend its branches and drive them away. Mia was a little apprehensive. As a descendant of a saintess and a demon, she wondered, will the World Tree think I'm strange? They quickly arrived at their destination. Before even getting out of the carriage, Mia saw a giant tree standing quietly. She caught a falling leaf. It was sparkling. Looking at the peculiar leaf in her hand, a money-making idea suddenly popped into Mia's head. I want to sell. Before she could finish, she was interrupted by a burst of laughter. Abel collapsed in his seat, laughing hysterically. You're probably the first demon who wants to sell this. He thought his sister was a little money grubber. However, the demon duke thought, my precious daughter will become a great entrepreneur in the future. At such a young age, she's so sensitive to money and has even learned to profit with zero cost. My daughter is a genius. Mia was a little bewildered. She hadn't thought that much about it. She just thought the leaves were pretty and could be used as bookmarks or decorations. She didn't expect her father to support her idea and even encourage her to start a business. Mia nodded firmly. With her father's support, she had to earn his approval and not disappoint him. Because they had made an appointment in advance, a caretaker came to greet the 3 of them. Unfortunately, they ran into someone from Lorraine today. Mia saw a blond boy who seemed to be staring at her. His bangs covered his face, making it difficult to see his features. The boy seemed to smile and made a shushing gesture towards Mia. Mia was taken to the World Tree to prepare for the ceremony, but was suddenly rudely pushed aside. The boy from Lorraine acted arrogantly. Move, I'm a descendant of Haliel. Her father and brother's faces instantly darkened. They were about to teach him a lesson, but Mia stopped them. Looking at the provocative expressions of the family, Mia decided to teach them a lesson herself. She firmly demanded an apology from the boy. The boy said arrogantly, "It was clearly my turn first. Why should you demons go ahead of me?" The caretaker told them, "Because you were half an hour late." The boy was dismissive. "It's only half an hour. Who would be so precise? Who could be exactly on time?" Mia thought he was bizarre, lacking even a sense of time, yet he was putting on airs and making unreasonable demands. The boy refused to listen and insisted on going in. As a descendant of Haliel, why should he be behind demons? Mia couldn't stand it anymore. This level of bickering shouldn't get them kicked out. Mia walked behind the boy and kicked him in the butt. Caught off guard, the boy fell flat on his face. He glared at Mia, unable to utter a word, only able to cry and call for his mother. The couple gritted their teeth in anger. The Duke held Mia in his arms and said coldly, "You were the ones who pushed my daughter first, and you're still so arrogant and refuse to apologize." The aura emanating from the Duke finally alerted the man across from him to something amiss. It was actually Duke Dundabul. When did he have a daughter? Realizing he was monitoring someone he couldn't afford to offend, the man hurriedly urged his son to apologize. But the little brat was completely oblivious to the gravity of the situation and continued to spout arrogant nonsense. The Duke's aura was overwhelmingly powerful and laced with a clear threat. The man was drenched in a cold sweat. He had no choice but to bow and apologize to Mia. Seeing his seemingly sincere attitude, Mia forgave them. She walked over to the boy and apologized for kicking him. The boy, embarrassed, turned his head away, unable to look at her. With the matter settled, Mia walked step by step towards the world tree. She reached out her hand towards the world tree, awaiting its response. The moment the girl touched the world tree, she felt a connection with it. Even the world tree was fond of the sweet, well-behaved child. Mia, born on the day of bewilderment, was a dream of a demon. This perfect compatibility destined her to grow into a powerful demon. A falling leaf brushed against the girl's face. Mia asked if she too could have familiars. The world tree responded affirmatively, adding that the familiars would share the same dream journey as their master. As if in a trance, Mia found herself in a strange land, sitting atop floating clouds. Could this be the other world where her familiars lived? Mia happily hopped between the clouds. But where could she find her familiars? She took out the unicorn she had bought earlier and made a silent wish. "I hope you can help me find a lovely child to share my dreams with." The clip-clop of hooves grew closer and closer. Mia opened her eyes again to find herself on horseback. "Greetings, my master. Please give me a name." Mia stared at the suddenly appearing familiar, still dazed. She hadn't even considered the need to give it a name. What if it disappears before I can name it? "Right, I'll call you Shoulda. A flowing name like your smooth white fur." Shoulda loved the name Mia gave him. "I'm your Shoulda now." Mia excitedly showed her father her familiar. Its pure white fur shimmered, and its large dark eyes radiated innocence. It was the first time Abel had seen a unicorn summoned. His little fluffball of a sister was truly amazing. As a familiar, Shoulda had been waiting for his master since his birth. Though the wait was long, meeting her made it all worthwhile. Shoulda nuzzled affectionately against Mia's cheek. As they prepared to head home, Mia suddenly remembered the mysterious blonde boy. It seemed no one else had seen him except her, yet he had clearly seen her. Could it have been a hallucination? Mia felt a sense of loss. After they left, the blonde boy reappeared. He hadn't expected the girl to be able to sense his presence. He removed the necklace that concealed him. The captivating fragrance he emitted immediately attracted attention. This child was a completely unfamiliar female demon. But why could she see him? The boy walked towards the world tree. He needed to confirm a prophecy that foretold he would die once for someone. To celebrate Mia obtaining her own familiar, her demon father pondered what gift to give his daughter. "Should I chop off the emperor's head and give it to you to kick around? His face isn't pretty enough, it'd be an eyesore. How about I capture a Larafin for you as a slave?" "Haha, Dad, your jokes are so funny." Abel couldn't help but laugh at his father's slightly awkward expression. "Fluffball, father's serious. When I summoned my familiar, father gave me a baby wyvern. I nearly died taming it." Mia thought it was absurd. She couldn't handle such bizarre gifts. Her wish was simple. She wanted to learn. As a newbie in the demon world, she knew far too little. The weak have no power. Just suppose, father has other secrets. What if he's better than me, more demonic than me? What will become of me then? So, she needed to learn to make herself stronger. Strength is the ultimate asset. What specifically do you want to learn? I want to understand the demon world and how to use my own abilities. Also, how to start a business and make money. The Duke, seeing his daughter so eager to learn, felt deeply gratified. Immediately arranged the best teachers for Mia. Abel couldn't understand his sister's approach. She clearly loved jewels, so why not just ask their father for them? Mia considered herself greedy. What's given isn't as good as what's earned. She was determined to dominate the jewelry market. That night, Mia summoned Shuda, wanted to sleep with him. Seeing Shuda's large size wouldn't fit on the bed, Mia decided to sleep on the floor with him. Unexpectedly, Shuda transformed into a miniature version of himself. Now they could cuddle easily. What a thoughtful sleeping companion. The next day, Mia officially began her studies. Mia pushed open the classroom door. There, an elegant, long-haired woman awaited her. I am Nivi's Rilrit. It's a pleasure to meet you, dear little princess. Is this the teacher father hired for her? What a charming female demon. Mia happily introduced herself. Nivi's cupped Mia's small face, sighing affectionately. Such a cute little thing to have been bullied by Larafin. This teacher's methods were unconventional. The first lesson was teaching Mia how to curse. As a high-ranking demon, one must learn how to curse sexily. These are the 4 main demon curses, especially the last one. It applies to everyone. Nivi's admired the Duke's parenting skills. Mia's father was quite exceptional, especially with Abel. He won the annual Best Parenting Award every year. Because Abel was extremely mischievous, he even blew up the king's palace. He was eventually thrown into a volcano by the king. Mia was exasperated with her older brother. She silently vowed never to be like him. After teaching curses, it was time to learn the compliments demons love to hear. These are the qualities a high-ranking demon must possess. Only by being a little bad can you protect what is rightfully yours. Mia thought about the past. The more docile and obedient she was, the more she was bullied. Nivi's gently stroked Mia's hair. Never be too well-behaved. Don't let anyone. Whatever you want, you must fight for it. The little girl had a dream, to become the richest person in the world. So rich, she could buy the king's palace and lands. Seeing Nivi's surprised expression, Mia wondered if she was being treasonous. Then let's scale down the goal a bit. Being as rich as the human emperor would be fine. Nivi's was charmed by Mia's money-loving nature. A demon should have such ambition. Truly worthy of being the Duke Dwindle's daughter. She showed Mia the lands ruled by the king. Vast territories, with the majestic king's palace standing in the center. All of this is the king's wealth. Mia was envious. Someday, she too would become a powerful demon like the king, earn a lot of money, and live a carefree life. The demon Duke personally picked up his daughter from school, preparing to take Mia to see the playroom he had set up. Seeing the indifferent Duke, now a doting father, Nivi's teased, "What will you do when Mia has a lover?" The Duke only hoped that day would never come. Mia pushed open the playroom door. She was greeted by a floor covered in gold and small toys made of gold and jewels. The Duke showed them to Mia one by one. This is a baby wyvern and a minotaur. Mia thought to herself, these are all things father likes, aren't they? You can play with them however you like. Throw them around, it's fine. Abel loved throwing toys when he was little. Is this a demon custom? I'll throw them when I'm angry. Right now, I'm super happy. She thanked her father loudly. Mia thanked him profusely for all the wonderful gifts. To fulfill Mia's entrepreneurial aspirations, this money was her startup capital. It also included Mia's living expenses until she turns 5. Every year after, her allowance would be placed in this room. Mia was overjoyed. Her long-held wish had finally come true. She would work hard to earn money and fill the room with gold. She would become the great entrepreneur her father spoke of. A few days later, Mia went out for a rare stroll, enjoying the warm sunshine. Mia saw fruit hanging from a branch and reached out to pick it. Suddenly, Reeves, the butler, appeared with his usual listless expression. Startled, Mia's mind went blank and she fainted. Duke Dwindle, now a doting father, was acting rather excessively. Convinced his beloved daughter was a genius, he decided to create holidays for her. Clever Daughter Day or Genius Mia Day. Also, Money-Loving Demon Day and Future Entrepreneur Day. Or perhaps Jewel-Loving Child Day. The Duke was so preoccupied with his daughter that he neglected his work. This worried Reeves immensely. If the Duke continued neglecting his duties, serious consequences could arise, potentially harming the family. He sought an opportunity to speak with Mia. hoping she could intervene. Please tell His Grace that you dislike a father who can't even finish his work. Mia understood. Reeves wanted her to persuade her father to work. The distraught butler explained that a crucial weapons manufacturing experiment was scheduled, but the Duke had postponed it for a week. Upon hearing the word weapons, Mia became alert. She had dreamt of a large-scale war. Wasn't war related to weapons? Mia refused. She didn't want to contribute to the outbreak of war. Reeves then presented another document, a report on a disaster. Demonic energy had accumulated in the territory, forming a tornado that caused significant loss of life and property. Mia was shocked by the piles of reports and petitions. Reeves pleaded, "Miss, please help me." The Duke refuses to work. The situation is quite serious. We must persuade him to work. Mia considered this. Let's consider this my first step towards becoming a future entrepreneur. This is your request, right? What will you give me if I help you? Reeves was momentarily taken aback. Truly the Duke's daughter. She possesses all the fine qualities of a demon. She lacked neither jewels nor money, and she had plenty of beautiful clothes. What special thing could Reeves offer? I will give you all the cotton candy in the world. How about that? As the Duke's butler, Reeves managed all food supplies. He promised Mia dozens of varieties of cotton candy in all shapes, sizes, patterns, and even rainbow colors. Will you accept this deal? Mia was unsure. Would her father listen to her? He will certainly listen to you. Then it's a deal. Time to deploy a child's ultimate weapon. At dinner, Mia observed her father lingering for over 2 hours without attending to his work. It seemed Reeves hadn't exaggerated. The situation was indeed dire. Mia cleared her throat and declared loudly, "I hate people who don't work hard. I only like handsome demons who diligently complete their tasks." She announced she would give a cheek kiss to any demon who worked hard. However, her father and Abel looked confused. Didn't they know what a cheek kiss was? "Abel, haven't you ever kissed father?" Mia called Tina over and had her bend down so she could kiss her cheek. She had dreamt of children kissing their fathers, making them happy. But now, seeing her father and Abel's expressions sink, she wondered if this tactic wouldn't work on them. Mia had hoped to motivate her father to work diligently with affection. Unexpectedly, this action caused dissatisfaction in 2 men. Abel felt it was unfair. Why did the fluffball kiss someone else first? Mia, questioned, was a bit bewildered. She quickly found an excuse, saying it was because Tina had done a great job. Tina was moved to tears, feeling that this alone was enough. The esteemed young lady actually kissed such a lowly person. Now, even if he were to die, he would be willing. Abel burned with extreme rage. How could this servant be kissed by Mia? He grabbed Tina, intending to finish him off. Mia quickly stopped Abel. "If you want to kiss, work hard." Abel wailed in grievance. "Don't I work harder than Tina every day?" Mia looked at his clearly unhappy expression, thinking of a way to appease them. From now on, whoever between Dad and Abel finishes their work fastest and best, I'll give them 2 kisses. The 2 men exchanged glances, then got up and left. An unexpected competition began. Mia breathed a sigh of relief. Adults could be so childish. In the office, Duke Dwindle's subordinates were exhausted. The intense workload in such a short time left their eyes bloodshot. Looking at their stern Duke, they dared not complain. Finally, break time arrived, and they collapsed on their desks. But Reeves, the butler, was happy despite the exhaustion. His Duke was finally working. The young lady was truly his savior. A few days later, Mia suddenly received a letter from her father, inviting her to visit his office. Mia happily agreed. While changing clothes, Tina was surprised to find that Mia had grown taller. The hem of her skirt, which had been at her calves, now reached her knees. Mia was overjoyed. She had been worried about not growing taller. Mia arrived at the office door and knocked formally. "Mia Dwindle is here." The door opened, and her father walked straight towards her, picking her up in his arms. The adjutants knelt in unison, their eyes fervent, their voices loud. "We greet the noble one who will lead the demon world." Mia had never seen such a scene. She felt a little embarrassed. Her father looked at her tenderly, asking what she had done that morning. Mia hesitated. She couldn't tell him she had spent the morning just eating. Suddenly, an idea struck her. "Dad, I've grown taller." Everyone present fell silent. Reeves was the first to react. Wonderful news. I'll declare today a holiday. Knowing his duke's temperament, the butler acted preemptively. Mia thought it was a bit much. Isn't that a little exaggerated? The duke immediately glared at Reeves. You're being too forward. Mia was afraid Reeves would be scolded, especially since he hadn't yet delivered on his promise of cotton candy. She quickly changed the subject, raising her hands and exclaiming, "Dad, your office is so big." Oops. The onlookers suddenly looked horrified. Mia then realized she had punched her father in the face. Ever since Mia had used kisses to encourage her father and brother to work hard, the competition between the two had intensified. However, the Duke was still a step ahead. That day, he carried his precious daughter around the empty office. The documents used to be piled up almost to the ceiling here. The implication was that he, her father, had been working extremely hard. All the documents had been dealt with. Mia understood this blatant hint immediately. The Duke looked at her expectantly, wanting his reward. But Mia felt shy with all the subordinates watching. Her father was probably showing off on purpose. She looked at Reeves to confirm. The butler gave her a firm thumbs up. All right then, kisses. One on the left cheek, one on the right. The watching subordinates put on quite the performance, pretending to be moved to tears. Of course, some were genuinely envious and tearing up. Mia walked over to the Minotaur and silently looked at him. Tugging at his coattails, Mia sweetly asked, "Mister, am I cute?" The Minotaur, having never experienced anything like this, was instantly charmed, reverted to his true form, and collapsed on the spot. Duke Dwindle, fearing the sight would be too much for Mia, quickly scooped up his daughter and left. Suddenly, Abel burst through the ceiling, landing before them. He looked at Mia with suspicion. "You haven't already learned shape-shifting, have you?" The Duke, with the air of a victor, declared, "You're too late. Just admit defeat." He then left with Mia in his arms. Abel was left behind, wailing to himself. Today is another day of lessons with Master Nives. Mia skipped over to her teacher. Today's lesson was about the correct use of magical power. With a flick of his wrist, Nives summoned streams of water to flow around the room. It turned out he was a water demon, the opposite element to Abel, but they both possessed the power of manifestation. Mia's power, however, was the abstract power of dreams. Moreover, the precognitive ability within her dreams was uncontrollable, making it difficult for ordinary people to use. But Nives was no ordinary person. He began by explaining the theory. First, seeing the future through dreams and making choices based on them. Then, entering the dreams of others and crafting dreams according to one's own needs. Next, implanting the created dreams into the minds of others, causing them to sleep or wake. You can even tame nightmares. Mia was astonished. The power of dreams was so incredible. The previous dream demon loved to infiltrate the dreams of others, leading tamed nightmares to control the entire dreamscape. Nightmares are also divided into male and female. They feed on the dreams of others. They love to travel between dreams. Once tamed, they become powerful allies. Mia was eager to try. She wanted to catch a nightmare and experiment. But thinking of her current abilities, she faltered. Nives reassured her, saying that no matter the dream, with him there, they could easily handle it. Nives told Mia, the previous dream demon loved to hunt. In the dream world, he had a harem of 20 male nightmares and 10 female nightmares. Mia was confused. "Master, what's a harem?" The previous dream demon lived a very carefree life. He hunted 30 nightmares and built himself a harem. Seeing Mia's bewildered expression, Nives explained, "Just think of it as having 30 lovers at the same time." Mia gasped. "What's the benefit of having so many lovers?" "Plenty of benefits. You could pick a different one every day for a month without repeating. Basically, it means playing in the dream world with a different nightmare every day." Mia was puzzled. If the previous dream demon was so powerful, then why did he die? Nives confessed he lost in the war for the throne. The price of losing was his life. This frightened Mia. She definitely didn't want to participate in any war for the throne. "If I have to, I'll use my precognitive abilities to see if I'll lose." Didn't the previous dream demon foresee his own defeat? "Did you participate in the war, Master?" It turned out that Nives, along with the Duke and Ashtart's families, were elder demons, older than the current demon king. In the era of our birth, it was ruled by the first and strongest king, Konkaya. Therefore, there was no need to participate in a war for the throne. Mia remembered her father's words and asked Nives why she couldn't reveal her premonitions. Because the foreseen future has two sides. Some will be satisfied with it, while others won't. What if everyone wants the future to unfold according to their own desires? For example, you tell someone that in a dream, you received a whole box of chocolates, but Abel overhears. He gets greedy and steals half. What would you do? So never reveal your precognitive dreams. If you do, in serious cases, you could lose your life. Mia was glad she'd never spoken about it. After explaining everything, Nives took Mia's small hand and taught her to feel the power flowing within her body. Looking at the hoof that appeared above her teacher's head, she saw it was indeed different from a low-ranking demon's hoof. Mia closed her eyes, feeling the flow of power within her. As streaks of multicolored light flashed, Mia found herself falling onto a large, marshmallow-like cloud. This was the power she possessed. It was truly amazing. Maybe she could foresee the future tonight. After the lesson, Nives gave Mia the memoirs left by past dream demons. He hoped the memories would be helpful to her. Mia didn't disappoint her teacher's hopes and returned to her room to diligently study. Mia, in order to practice her ability to foresee the future, buried herself in the books, absorbing the experiences of past dream demons. The notes said that determination was crucial to seeing the future. Could she see then? When the butler had promised her those marshmallows. But the notes also said that one must have a very, very urgent desire. So the marshmallows were out of the question. After all, she first saw the future, because her desire to escape was too urgent. Mia picked up the previous dream demon's notes again. The first page lamented how great it was to be a demon. The second page boasted about their harem. Mia persevered and turned to the third page, thinking it would contain methods for hunting nightmares. Instead, it was filled with exclamations of "so awesome," "so exhilarating," "so exciting." Mia quietly closed the notes. Just as she was about to open the third book of notes, she suddenly realized someone was watching her. It was Abel. He completely ignored the "do not enter" note Mia had stuck on the door. But at this moment, Abel looked quite upset. He was still brooding over yesterday's loss in a competition with their father. He had clearly done an excellent job, so why hadn't he received a kiss as a reward? Seeing his expression, Mia wasn't angry. She led him into the room and even took out a handkerchief to wipe the ink off his arm. Afraid the bloodstains on him would frighten Mia, Abel quickly dodged her, saying this wasn't work for a little sister. Mia was curious about what Abel's work entailed. "I used to be in the military. Now I handle the family's external affairs. Those who owe us money and don't pay, those who dare to deceive us. My main job is to catch those bad guys." But why would catching bad guys get ink on him? Seeing his sister's innocence, Abel continued to elaborate. "It got on me when they were writing their promissory notes. Your brother, I teach those bad guys a lesson in a stylish way, making them sign promissory notes guaranteeing they'll repay their debts." Seeing the admiration in Mia's eyes, Abel puffed up with pride. He also told Mia some good news. "Father is throwing a grand banquet for me." Could this be the banquet Father had mentioned before? The one to announce her identity to the world. Actually, every female demon is supposed to have a grand banquet every year since birth. This is Mia's first banquet. The Duke wants to make up for this for you. Mia was moved to tears. Father had actually put so much thought into this for her. She truly felt like she was part of this family. There will be many guests. All the demons want to see the true face of Duke Dwindle's daughter. You'll be able to meet many female demons. Mia wanted to make friends with them, but on the other hand, she was afraid she wouldn't fit in. Abel patted her head affectionately. "Don't worry about anything. Just be yourself. And Cain will be back too." Really? Cain's coming back too. Abel felt another pang of jealousy. "Why do you call Cain Big Brother, but you just call me Abel?" But Mia was only looking forward to seeing the legendary, super handsome Cain. Also, the child she saw at the World Tree before. Would he be coming too? Watching his sister's silly grin, Abel couldn't help but warn her. If any male demons talk to you at the banquet, you have to be shameless. If any of them annoy you, just kick them away. Suddenly, Mia realized something. Could this banquet be the one she dreamt about? The demon Duke is throwing a grand banquet for his daughter. But the daughter foresaw that she would be kidnapped at the banquet. Mia's expression turned serious. She couldn't just not attend the banquet, because the group in her dream, even if they didn't kidnap her, they would kidnap another child. Her familiar, shoulda, spread his wings protectively. "Don't worry, Master. I will always protect you." Abel also said he would keep an eye on her at the banquet. After seeing off the clingy shoulda, Mia opened the third notebook. She had to find a way to protect herself and others. This was the first banquet her father was holding for her. She absolutely couldn't let those bad guys ruin it. Her current power was too small, too weak. She had no chance against adult demons. But as long as she used her ability to put them to sleep, she had a chance to win. That evening, the Duke wanted to check on Mia, but was stopped by a note on the door. The man smiled warmly and turned to leave. At this banquet, he would bestow a new name upon his daughter. He hoped she would like it. The sleeping Mia began to dream. Just like the previous times, she fell flat on her backside into the dream world. This place was holy and bright like a temple. Then, she heard whispers from a nearby group. They were making deals with both demons and Larafin, waiting for the right moment. Mia listened stealthily. These people wanted to gain Larafin's trust. They wanted to obtain the weapon that could exterminate demons at the end of the world. To do this, they were planning to kidnap a young female. There was too much information for Mia to process. Just as she was about to continue eavesdropping, the dream shifted. Now she was in a toy store. Mia was just captivated by a plush toy on the shelf that looked just like Shoulda when she bumped into a boy. The boy turned and ran. Mia chased after him. When she pulled open the curtain, the scene changed again. This time, she was in her own room. But the Mia in the dream was crying in Abel's arms. She had lost to a competitor. The waterproof fabric she invented that had resulted in a loss of 10 billion. Mia's eyes widened. Wow, how could she lose so much? On the verge of tears, she was suddenly in a new scene. The people in the room were in a heated discussion. They were praising a young woman named June because she had invented a waterproof fabric. Sales had skyrocketed, earning 100 billion. Not only her, but each of the 7 children had outstanding talents. A man named Nia secretly vowed to find these 7 individuals and make them work for him. The dream shifted again. There were so many dreams tonight. Mia was getting overwhelmed. Could it be the method her teacher taught her during the day was working? This time, she was outdoors. The dark night echoed with the cawing of crows. Mia instinctively sensed danger. Then she heard a man's curses. Hiding behind a corner, Mia saw a man yelling at a silver-haired youth in a cloak. "You killed my brother," just because a girl glanced at the youth. That was chased by the young man with a drawn sword. At the critical moment, Mia woke up from the dream. Everything that just happened was still vivid in her mind. The man in the dream angrily scolded the young man because the herbs he sold him contained poisonous weeds, causing his older brother to die from poisoning. But the young man looked indifferent. "It was clearly you who didn't distinguish them. How can you blame me?" Hearing this, Mia was startled. Could it be that the poisonous weeds that poisoned Abel in the previous dream were also these? The young man keenly sensed the cave owner. He picked a piece of moss from the side and looked over. Mia instantly panicked. This person was Larafin. The young man walked a few steps behind Mia and looked her over with amusement. "I was so vigilant about my surroundings. How did you appear here?" Mia was so nervous, she didn't dare to move. This was the first time someone had looked at her like this in a dream. But in the next second, the young man drew his sword to kill her. In a magnificent castle built on the Sky Island, a silver-haired man woke up from his bed. He had just disguised himself as a young man in his dream. He hadn't expected that little one wouldn't be suppressed by him, but instead, at the same moment, was in the same dream realm. This child's talent was extremely high. It was a pity she was a demon. He really wanted to see her immediately. Because she had had so many dreams, Mia was still groggy and dizzy after waking up. Today was practical training for using dream power to make people fall asleep. Tina Hepburn, who was serving as the guinea pig, was waiting there early. The two of them were getting ready to crawl into bed. Tina's tightly closed eyes still betrayed her nervousness, but she insisted on cheering Mia on. Nivi's told her, as long as you practice to the point where even if the target is far away from you, you can make them fall asleep instantly, that then you won't have to worry about any danger. Mia took a deep breath. She imagined herself as a little bee spreading sleeping fragrance. A colorful power emanated from her hands. It slowly floated into the air, forming a dream book, and covered the two of them. Nivi's wanted to ask how they felt, but found they were already snoring. On her first try, she successfully put both of them to sleep. Mia was truly outstanding. Nivi's told Mia that 80% of demons suffered from insomnia. The symptoms were so severe that they were willing to trade gold for a good night's sleep. Mia suddenly had a brainwave. Wasn't this a good way to make money? Humans and demons both needed sleep. If she could make insomniac demons sleep well, wouldn't there be many benefits? Mia even thought of a name for the shop, Sleep Salon. She was simply a business genius. At this moment, Doria hesitantly asked a question. When will they wake up? After all, the banquet preparations still need them. Mia was stumped. She didn't know either. The adorable child could use magic to make people fall asleep instantly, but she didn't know how to wake them up. Mia flew to Tina's side and tried to shake her awake. But Tina was still immersed in her sweet dreams, blissfully unaware. Mia broke down, crying anxiously. What if they never woke up? Nivi's tried to comfort her. If you're worried, ride your exclusive familiar into their dreams and wake them up. Mia realized there was such a method, but let's wait 2 days. If they haven't woken up in 2 days, I'll try it. 35 hours passed in a blink. Tina and Hepburn were still sound asleep, but Mia couldn't sleep. Lying in bed, she worried and cried. The 2 previous notebooks had mentioned cases where people never woke up because of the dream demon's actions. The more Mia thought about it, the more scared she became. She wanted to go to her dad and Abel for help, but she was also afraid it was too late and would disturb their rest. Shoulda comforted her, telling her not to overthink it. Everyone liked her, and she could do whatever she wanted. But Mia still curled up in a ball under the covers. Ju Jie Chung Yi Tan. Then there was a knock at the door, but there was no one outside, only a box on the ground. After making sure there was no danger, Mia opened the box. Inside was a box of cookies with a unicorn pattern printed on them. There was also a letter attached. It turned out to be from all the servants of the Duke's mansion. To cheer Mia up, they all made cookies and sent them to her. A warmth surged in Mia's heart. Just holding the letter in her arms, she felt unworthy. How could she receive such a heartfelt gift? Mia couldn't bear to eat them. She wanted to keep these cookies safe. Should have strongly agreed. After all, watching cookies with his likeness being eaten felt strange. Mia also agreed. It would indeed be strange to watch Abel eat cookies that looked like her. Then there was a commotion outside. Looking through the window, Abel was talking to a large group of servants. It turned out that to prevent anyone from deliberately causing trouble around Mia's room during the banquet, Abel ordered the servants to bury 300 magic landmines around here. But seeing the timid look on each of the servants' faces, it felt like they weren't reliable. Abel pointed at a servant. You go step on one and see if the landmine will explode. The servant cried out for mercy. Master, I'm responsible for wiping Mrs. Stairs every day. My duties are indispensable. Abel thought it made sense. He pointed at another servant. The second servant quickly pleaded, Master, I'm responsible for recording how many times Miss smiles every day. My work is also extremely important. The servants all talked at once, explaining how important their jobs were and how they absolutely couldn't step on a landmine. Just as Abel was losing his patience. What are you doing there? At this moment, Mia's image became exceptionally grand in the eyes of the servants. Miss saved us. Abel leaped onto the wall. In a few steps, he climbed onto the railing. Under the moonlight, the red-haired young man's eyes were particularly bright. Little furball, why aren't you asleep yet? Just because his little sister couldn't sleep, her older brother jumped directly onto the 5th floor balcony to tell his little sister a bedtime story. Abel entered the room and saw the gift box on the table. Opening it, he saw a box of ugly cookies. Mia panicked, put them down. That's a gift I received, and they're not ugly at all. Seeing that Abel wasn't budging, Shoulda carried Mia on his back and took the cookies back. In Mia's eyes, these were her precious treasures. Seeing that it was getting late, Abel urged her to go to sleep. Otherwise, you won't grow tall. He pretended to look around. Oh dear, you're so small, I can't even see you. Then he lowered his head. Oh, you're stuck to the floor. Mia angrily called Abel an idiot. She burrowed under the covers and ignored him. Abel, for the sake of his little sister's long-term growth, suddenly conjured a flame and summoned his exclusive familiar, Eton. Who could resist cuddling such a cute, big cat? Mia immediately went over to nuzzle it, exclaiming, so cute. Isn't he handsome? Abel told Mia that if he wasn't around, Eton would be a companion she could trust. As the night deepened, Abel coaxed Mia to sleep. Mia liked the feeling of him being by her side. She wanted him to wait until she fell asleep before leaving. Mia asked Abel, Tina and Hepburn should wake up tomorrow, right? Abel had completely forgotten who these two were, but he still comforted Mia. Don't worry, they'll wake up tomorrow morning. What if they don't wake up? Then splash cold water on their faces. Finally, Mia fell asleep, feeling uneasy, looking at his little sister's sweet sleeping face. So small, yet she isn't afraid of me and doesn't avoid me. What a fascinating little being. Abel remembered his mother once asking him who he wanted to use his great power to protect. When a demon has someone precious to them, they become even stronger. He hadn't understood the meaning of those words as a child, but now, his little sister was the person he wanted to protect. What Mia needed most was a warm home. so he would do everything in his power to make Dwindle the best home for her. With a gentle wave of her small hand, the girl put the two to sleep for 3 days and 3 nights. Finally, it was time to wake them up. Mia climbed onto Shudda, nervously holding him tight. Shudda's horn began to glow brightly. In the next second, the girl and the beast entered the dream world. But in this dream world, there were only silent woods and steep cliffs. Mia tried to enter the next dream, but a sudden, violent tremor instantly brought her back to reality. Her first attempt was a failure. Mia looked at the 2 sleeping figures at a loss. Nivi suggested that having a guiding medium when entering a dream would make things much easier. With the guidance of a medium, a dream gate could be conjured, helping one enter the dream world more effectively. Nivi's gave Mia a gift. Opening it, she found an exquisite music box. She would use this music to guide her into the dream. Accompanied by beautiful music, Shudda's horn glowed again. This time, as soon as Mia opened her eyes, Shudda carried her through the dream gate. She was instantly stunned by the sight before her. Below was a veritable ocean of delicious food. Tina, Hepburn, where are you? After waking up, the two were still savoring the delicious food they had eaten in their dreams. As much as they wanted, they could never finish it all. Mia looked at their blissful expressions, a little speechless. But at least they were all right. When Tina and Hepburn learned they had slept for several days, they were shocked. What were they going to do about all the work they had missed? Mia promised to explain everything for them. Nivis praised Mia, saying she was amazing and succeeded at everything on the first try. But Mia was a little embarrassed. It had taken her 3 tries. The first time she entered the dream, she couldn't find them at all. The second time, she found Tina, but couldn't wake her up. It wasn't until the 3rd time, when she gave her a good shake, that she finally woke up. Now, completely exhausted, she fell asleep on Tina's back. The next day, the entire mansion was busy preparing for the celebratory feast. Mia, looking at the banquet hall filled with Solari diamond trees, was almost blinded by their brilliance. Her father had put out such precious things for her, also to show the other demons that the Dwindle family was a harmonious and loving one. Mia, holding the blueprints, walked all over the banquet hall, familiarizing herself with the layout. She was confident that she could avoid being kidnapped on the day of the feast. Because of a single sentence from the girl, the man was terrified, kneeling on the ground and frantically kowtowing for forgiveness. Just then, Mia remembered something very important. She called out to the butler, asking him when he would deliver on his promise of the cotton candy mountain. The butler was instantly dumbfounded. He had completely forgotten about it. Mia's face darkened. "You didn't forget, did you?" The butler, sweating profusely, frantically denied it. No, please rest assured. I will definitely make you a cotton candy mountain for the feast." Seeing the young lady's still suspicious expression, the butler continued, "I'll also give you a table filled with all sorts of desserts. No, I'll give you a whole gingerbread house. You can not only sleep in it, but you can eat it too. I'll decorate it beautifully, so you and your friends can enjoy an afternoon tea inside." Mia was instantly captivated by the butler's description. Deciding to reluctantly trust him one more time, Mia went out with the Duke. He needed to choose gifts for the demons attending the banquet. Gifts for the adult demons and the younger demons were relatively easy to pick out. The key was what to give the demons he wanted to befriend. The usually bustling street held only the Duke, Mia, and their attendants. Looking at the flowers blooming on the roadside trees, Mia was in particularly high spirits. Being held high in her father's arms dispelled the gloom and worry of the past few days. Mia picked a bouquet of flowers and placed them on her father's ear. Looking at his well-behaved daughter, the Duke also picked a bouquet and placed it on her head. Seeing how much his daughter loved flowers, the Duke offered to give her a small hill near a village covered in flowering trees within his territory. He then pulled out a thick stack of deeds. The vineyard next to the hill and the village that produces the wine are also yours. These are all birthday gifts for you. Please forgive me for neglecting you these past 5 years. Mia was overjoyed. The Duke told her to wait until after the celebratory banquet to sign her name. Mia thought of her previous dream. Could Dad be planning to give me a new name at the banquet? Feeling so much love from her father, Mia felt that the suffering of the past 5 years had been compensated for. She asked the Duke to bend down and planted a kiss on his cheek. The sweetness even melted the Duke's icy expression. After the two left, several figures darted out from behind the roadside trees. Was that man with the flowers just now Duke Dwindle? They all felt like they had seen things wrong. That girl just called him dad. Is she his daughter? And the village he just offered to give away, could it be Agusen, which accounts for a significant portion of the empire's wine production? The exquisite wine produced, there is something even the emperor and nobles can only taste occasionally. The duke, he's willing to give away even his family's golden goose. Could the ownership have already been transferred to that child? We must seize this rare opportunity. They hurried to prepare gifts, intending to curry favor with Mia. The demon duke, to make amends for his neglect of his daughter, gave her an entire winery as a birthday gift. Mia also decided on the gifts for the adult demons, a bottle of red wine each. But what gifts should she give the children? She suddenly remembered the toy store in her dream. She decided to take advantage of today to look for it. The duke accompanied her, visiting store after store, but none matched the one in her dream. Mia was a little disappointed. Finally, they arrived at the last toy store. Looking at the owner, Mia felt he looked a lot like Count Blanc. The duke told Mia to take her time. If she wasn't satisfied with anything, he would hire a designer to create exactly what she wanted. Mia browsed happily and immediately spotted a unicorn plush on the shelf. It looked exactly like Shoulda. Seeing how much the young lady adored it, the attendant immediately told the owner, "We'll take all of them," and tossed over a bag of gold coins with an air of extravagant wealth. Then Mia noticed the curtains in the store. They looked very familiar. Weren't they the same as the ones in her dream? Just then, a child stared intently at Mia. Mia recognized him instantly. He was the genius who could earn 10 billion. She had to get him on her side. Mia eagerly followed him, but upon entering the basement, she was shocked by the environment. It was so dirty and messy, similar to the place where she had been imprisoned. The owner of this store clearly didn't care about his employees. Mia pushed open a door and saw two older children protectively shielding the boy, staring at her warily. Mia was about to speak when they covered her mouth. Originally, a man was dozing nearby, supervising their work. Mia quietly inquired about their living conditions, but the two children didn't answer her, only wanting her to leave quickly. Mia, having experienced similar hardship, recognized they were being abused and couldn't stand idly by. She asked if they made the unicorn doll outside. After receiving confirmation, Mia directly offered, "I want to hire all of you. For every doll you make, I'll pay you 1 gold coin." The children thought this noble lady was teasing them. Mia immediately took off an expensive ornament from her head and handed it to them. "This is a down payment. Sell this and divide the money amongst yourselves." Seeing the boys' confused expression, Mia explained she was starting a business and needed skilled doll makers, so she wanted to invite them to join her. Just then, the man nearby suddenly woke up. The man was about to strike the boy, but collapsed unconscious the next second. Just a moment ago, as Mia was preparing to leave with the children, the man watching them suddenly awoke. Seeing Mia, he approached with a hostile look, demanding to know who she was. But Mia wasn't afraid. She now possessed the power to protect herself. Looking at the trembling children beside her, Mia decided to show them something to reassure them. She deliberately provoked the man. As the man flew into a rage and prepared to hit her, she flicked her wrist. As the children watched, a giant butterfly suddenly lunged at the man. The next second, he rolled his eyes and collapsed unconscious. This was the power of the dream demon. The children were stunned. The boy happily shook hands with Mia, and the deal was made. Mia learned that although these children currently only did stitching and processing work, they each had unique skills. She could take them back and have teachers train them. This was also an investment. The boy told Mia that the owner here was withholding their wages. Mia brought them to the main hall. She told her father not to buy dolls here. She wanted to hire these children directly as employees to make dolls. The owner immediately protested. "Miss, how can you take my employees?" He then turned and scolded the children, calling them ungrateful wretches for being provided with food and lodging. These words reminded Mia of her past experiences of being exploited by the Ebelang family, where she was expected to be grateful for mere scraps of food and drink. Mia tore away the man's mask of hypocrisy, accusing him of wanting to exploit these children for free labor. Mia pointed to the horn behind the man, which was awarded to families with 5 or more children. The man had falsified documents to adopt these children in order to defraud the royal family's supplemental funds. At this point, Duke Dwindle stepped forward. "The Empress has decreed that anyone found defrauding the state will be punished by being drawn and quartered. It seems you will be the first to be punished." Terrified, the man released the children to save his own life. Mia felt a surge of accomplishment, returning to Duke Dwindle. Duke Dwindle instructed the butler to take good care of the children and arrange for skilled needleworkers and craftspeople to teach them. Every detail was meticulously arranged. Mia wasn't doing this solely to help the children. Her ultimate goal was profit. As a demon, this was what she should be doing, to throw a grand banquet for his beloved daughter. The demon Duke invited all the nobles. Mia looked at the thick stack of invitations, except for Dad and his wife and Master Nives, and many other demons she didn't recognize. Mia was curious why the heads of families all had two names. The Duke explained that the first name was given by their parents, and the second name was chosen by themselves after they became the head of the family. Mia now understood why Dad and his wife were together. The meanings of their names were extinction and revelation, truly a like-minded couple. And the Demon King, the moment he became king, had to abandon the name given by his parents and his family name, leaving only the unique name he chose for himself. At this moment, Mia saw a grayed-out name. The butler explained that it was Duke Nives' daughter, but she had run away from home 15 years ago. Because her invisibility ability was exceptional, unless she wanted to return, no one could find her. Could it be that Master sometimes looked sad because he missed his daughter? When it was time for bed, the drowsy Mia still didn't forget to share with Tina that she now had employees. She asked Tina to tell the children that she would protect them. In the blink of an eye, the day of the banquet arrived. Mia was a little excited, because Abel's cousin, Wan Lai Li, was returning. Since she was Abel's cousin, she was also her family. Moreover, she was the same age as her. Mia was very much looking forward to becoming friends with her. While happy, she was also a little nervous. After all, her dream foretold that a kidnapping would happen today. She and Shuda were prepared to immediately notice if any girl went missing. She memorized the appearances of all the girls beforehand. If the kidnapper succeeded and tried to leave the Duke's mansion, Mia had also arranged countermeasures. She quietly instructed Tina to do something and told her to keep it a secret. Before long, the Duke's mansion was filled with guests attending the banquet. Mia's portrait was displayed in a prominent position. Abel extended his hand to Mia. He promised her that he would keep an eye on her. Go ahead with confidence. As the protagonist of tonight's banquet and making her first public appearance, Mia was still a little nervous facing the gazes of the guests. Abel, accustomed to grand occasions, appeared quite relaxed and comfortable. He gestured for Mia to sit beside him. Mia noticed Master Nives, dressed in formal attire, feeding a turtle red wine. The turtle, drunk and tipsy, even burped contentedly. Abel explained that it was Master's familiar. The drunken turtle, Savnak. His family was also present. The head of the family had a spider mark on his face. Mia asked Abel if his mother had arrived. Abel figured that since Valerie was there, his mother should be there too. With the arrival of a fiery red figure, Mia finally met the long-awaited one. Stunned by the girl's beauty, Mia couldn't help but exclaim that she was as gorgeous as a rose. But as Mia stared expectantly at the girl, she scoffed disdainfully. Seeing Mia's hurt expression, Abel comforted her, telling her not to mind. He said the demons of their family all had bad tempers. He also told Mia that Brother Cain would be with the king today. Speaking of Brother Cain, Mia became interested. She was incredibly eager to meet this legendary handsome man. At that moment, a dark cloud drifted into the banquet hall. It turned out to be the Demon Duke making his grand entrance. Seeing her dad, Mia was overjoyed and ran towards him. The Duke scooped up his precious daughter. Mia smiled radiantly in her father's arms. She especially loved the banquet her father had specially arranged for her. She gave her dad a big kiss on the cheek. This made the guests envious. Mia made a heart shape with her hands towards everyone, thanking them for attending her banquet. Her cute gesture charmed a large number of demons. Mia didn't forget to look for the demons who might cause trouble. She observed the expressions of the guests present. Anyone with an unnatural expression was highly suspicious. After all, they wouldn't truly enjoy the banquet. But Mia noticed Wan Lai Li's face was full of scornful mockery. Mia didn't think she had offended her. She knew that as a female demon, Wan Lai Li had a high status, and some arrogance was understandable. Telling her father she wanted to mingle with new friends, she took Shuda and went over to the group of girls. Mia enthusiastically introduced herself. "Hello, I'm Mia Dwindle." The two other girls responded with smiles. Only Wan Lai Li deliberately turned her head away, refusing to look at her. Mia now truly felt Wan Lai Li's animosity towards her. It was quite baffling. Today was the girl's birthday banquet. Yet, there were always people deliberately causing trouble, publicly mocking the girl for being short. Just a moment ago, Mia was warmly greeting her new companions. The blue-haired girl was named Daria. Her melodious voice brightened Mia's eyes. It turned out she was a soundwave demon. She enjoyed singing and dancing with her familiar. Ling Ling Mia watched, both happy and envious. She wished she had such a talent, but should have refused. He hated dancing. The flaxen-haired girl was named Heidi. Her familiar was a firefly. With a wave of her hands, countless shining lights danced around her. Seeing them chatting happily, the neglected Wan Lai Li was unhappy. She glared at Mia with disgust. Suddenly approaching, she whispered in Mia's ear, "Why do you look like you were just born? Are you deliberately trying to act cute by being so short?" Mia hurriedly explained that she was short because she hadn't gone through her growth spurt yet. To grow into a true demon, one must undergo a second growth spurt, triggered by experiencing love. Because Mia hadn't grown yet, Wan Lai Li mocked her as a foolish demon. Both Mia and Shuda's faces darkened. Thinking she had the upper hand, Wan Lai Li pressed further. "You don't even know this. You don't even dare to go to the king's palace. I thought you were so amazing." So that's why she looked down on her. But it was her father who allowed her not to attend the king's court. Shuda was indignant. "What right does she have to criticize you? She's clearly just jealous." Mia stopped holding back. She questioned Wan Lai Li. "This is clearly our first meeting. What right do you have to hate me? Who do you think you are?" Wan Lai Li was taken aback, about to announce her lineage. When Mia pressed her advantage, "Oh, please. So what if your family is powerful? You're not the head of the family." Wan Lai Li became furious. "But I'm the heir." Mia directly brought up her father. Although this tactic was a bit underhanded, she was the one who started it. "My father is Duke Dwindle." "Who is your father?" "Besides, my teacher is Duke Nives." "Who is your teacher? What gives you the right to be so arrogant?" These words stunned not only Wan Lai Li, but also Daria and Heidi. Duke Nives was their idol, but he only went to the king's palace for 1 month each year. Everyone rarely had the opportunity to see him. Wan Lai Li had never suffered such humiliation. She yelled at Mia, "You're just a little demon leeching off your father's power." Sensing their master's anger, her familiars glared at Mia along with her. For a moment, Mia was charmed, but she was in the middle of an argument and couldn't be distracted. "I could put 2 people to sleep instantly. What can you do?" Seeing Wan Lai Li speechless, Mia realized she was just all talk. But Wan Lai Li wasn't about to give up. She loudly questioned Mia, "Where is your mother from? Are you a filthy Larafin? Or are you a human descendant?" Just because the girl was half human, she was mocked as low-born trash. Even with Mia's good upbringing, she couldn't endure such provocation. Just as she was about to teach Wan Lai Li a lesson, a magnificent gingerbread house made of sweets appeared. The butler had kept his promise. Daria and Heidi were instantly captivated. Even Wan Lai Li was seeing such a giant gingerbread house for the first time. Mia invited Daria and Heidi inside the gingerbread house to play. She looked at Wan Lai Li smugly. "Since you hate me, you definitely don't want to come in." She then closed the door with a smile, leaving Wan Lai Li fuming outside. The girls enjoyed a delicious afternoon tea. During their chat, Heidi mentioned a recent scary rumor. "Do you know about the god's 9th daughter? I heard her mansion was occupied by evil spirits." Mia thought, "Isn't that my mother?" She was unexpectedly gossiping about her own family. It's shrouded in black mist. No one can enter or leave. It's completely surrounded by the power of death. This is what Heidi's mother told her after investigating the scene. Mia didn't know what had happened to the Ebelang family since she left, but the power of death wasn't her father's power. Did he attack the Ebelang mansion? Just as she was about to change the subject, there was a sudden commotion outside. "Welcome the great king, Helioidan." The girls immediately rushed out to greet her. Mia didn't understand why they were so panicked. The next second, she froze. A woman in magnificent attire was slowly entering the room. A slight smile played on her lips, and she exuded an undeniable aura of power. Mia was awestruck. This was the power of the king. Everyone present bowed, praising the king's majesty. Mia felt admiration and looked forward to the future, when she would become richer than the king. Then Mia suddenly remembered Wan Lai Li, but she couldn't see her anywhere. Mia had a bad feeling. Could she have been kidnapped? Mia hurriedly prepared to look for her, but stopped dead in her tracks the next second. Welcoming the king's husband came Dwindle, eldest son of the Dwindle family. Mia was stunned the moment she saw her older brother. Her long-awaited brother was actually the king's husband. Abel shook his head at the dumbfounded Mia. After a moment, she finally remembered that she hadn't told him, that her brother Cain and the king were already married, and that they were very much in love. Mia bristled. How could you forget something so important? Seeing Cain walking towards her, Mia became so nervous she didn't know what to do. Seeing her shyness, Abel introduced her to Cain as Fluffball. Cain teased. Abel's dream of having a little sister has finally come true. Mia was still worried that Cain might dislike her, but then he crouched down to her level. Hello, Mia. I'm your older brother. His handsome face wore a gentle smile, which made Mia blush and stammer. This reaction made Abel jealous. He questioned Mia, why were you so cold when you first met me? It's completely different treatment. Cain asked Mia if she was comfortable living at home and called her my little sister. Mia was delighted. Then Cain presented her with a gift. Mia was flattered and sweetly called him brother. Abel grew even more jealous. Mia had never called Cain brother so sweetly before. Cain returned to the king's side. Watching the affectionate couple, Mia couldn't help but imagine finding such a partner in the future. Abel urged Mia to open her gift. It was a gorgeous, intricate bracelet. Mia initially thought it was just a decorative piece, but Abel explained it was more than that. It contained a special power, allowing people in areas she'd visited to hear her voice. He explained that Cain would often go to the dungeon to vent after arguing with the king, and they discovered the bracelet there together. Mia tried it out. As she thought of a place, the scene appeared before her eyes. How amazing! Suddenly, Mia remembered something. She took out the cufflinks her father had given her and asked Abel what they did. Abel explained they were shield cufflinks, capable of blocking both physical and mental attacks, but only usable once a day. Mia wondered if they were valuable given their power. Fluffball, you're such a money grubber, Abel teased. But if you were to sell them to some rich folks, 51 wouldn't be a bad asking price. Mia declared she wouldn't sell something so precious and would keep them safe. Suddenly, she sensed something was amiss. She looked around, feeling like someone had just glared at her. To catch the culprit lurking at the banquet, Mia had devised a plan. She had Pinaban searching for suspicious individuals and instructed Daria to quickly sketch everyone entering and leaving. Studying the sketches, Mia realized Wan Lai Li had already left the ballroom. No one had left after the king arrived. So, between Wan Lai Li's departure and the king's arrival, thought someone who left the ballroom might be the kidnapper. If they were going to act, they'd choose a secluded spot. Mia decided to investigate herself. Just then, her father called her over. He wanted to give her something. Mia's heart raced. Could it be the alarm from her dream? Duke Dwindle formally announced to all the guests that he had chosen a special, fitting name for his daughter, Milmia Dwindle. The name meant, if you wish, you can have anything you desire. You can live luxuriously, be ambitious, strive for what you want, and enjoy all that is good. Mia knew it was her father's encouragement. Don't thank me. This is what I should do as your father. You are my daughter. Nothing is more important than you. Marquis Savnak came to offer his congratulations. He had heard Mia's aspiration was to become an entrepreneur. As a successful businessman, the Marquis offered to share his experience with Mia. Mia, eager to learn about starting a business, found their discussion very insightful. The Marquis suggested they meet again at the Entrepreneurs Guild, an organization all entrepreneurs in the empire were required to join. Heidi chuckled, saying Mia would be the youngest member upon joining. After saying goodbye to her father, Mia continued with her plan. She needed to find an empty balcony and hide there for 10 minutes. Mia opened the curtains to a balcony, only to find a handsome man and a beautiful woman about to engage in an intimate moment. Having never witnessed such a scene, Mia was startled and ran away. After stumbling into several occupied balconies, Mia finally found an empty one. Before she could catch her breath, she smelled the sweet scent of honey. A blond young man in a white cloak appeared nearby. His golden hair shimmered captivatingly in the moonlight. Mia stared, somewhat mesmerized. With the sweet scent wafting towards her, Mia remembered. Wasn't this the mysterious person she met by the World Tree? Meeting again, the young man greeted Mia. She told him her new name, Milmia. When she asked for his name, The young man seemed surprised. This girl really knew nothing about him. He told Mia it was dangerous to be alone on the balcony. Mia retorted, "Aren't you alone too?" The young man sighed. He was forced to be. The scent he emitted was simply too alluring. He urged Mia to leave, wanting to be alone. But Mia hadn't finished her plan. She couldn't hide. She intended to pester the young man until he left first. Mia pointed at his necklace, asking questions. The young man reluctantly told her he'd borrowed it from the king. It could erase the wearer's traces and scent, making them undetectable. Mia wondered how she had found him then, because the bracelet and cufflinks Mia wore were of a higher rank than the necklace. It was ineffective against her. Then Mia remembered something important. She took out the unicorn gem she'd bought and asked if the young man knew who made it, since the scent on the gem was identical to his. "I made it." Mia was first surprised, then delighted. The young man told her he was a sculptor and artist who enjoyed creating with various materials. Mia's eyes were full of admiration. She eagerly wanted to befriend him. She asked for his name again. The young man found it amusing. This girl was the first to ask for his name. Demons had always paid him much attention. His name was known by all. Mia suddenly felt a pang of sympathy. A life constantly under scrutiny must be difficult. "I'm Uriel Belajut." Mia generously praised Uriel, not for his face, scent, or family, but solely for his sculptures. This surprised the young man. Although she hadn't seen Uriel's face clearly yet, in Mia's opinion, Brother Cain was the most handsome, and Dad's scent was better than his. Uriel envied Mia's close relationship with the Duke. He confessed that his own father, disapproving of his sculpting, fearing he would ruin the family's reputation, had sent him away. Mia only half understood. Uriel continued to share his troubles. He hadn't been able to find any inspiration for his sculptures lately. However, after seeing Mia, he really wanted to sculpt a little duck. Mia thought he was just teasing her and prepared to leave. She took out a special gift, a bracelet prepared for demons she wanted to befriend. She sincerely hoped to become special friends with Uriel. Uriel also found this girl unique, wanting to befriend him simply because he could sculpt. He decided to let Mia see his true face. But Mia said she'd see it next time. She jumped on Ashuta's back, waved, and disappeared into the night sky, leaving Uriel murmuring to himself, "When I finish my next sculpture, I'll come find you." He sighed, a mixture of anticipation and helplessness. Everything seemed to have gone beyond his expectations, because kidnappers were lurking at the banquet, and Wan Lai Li was in danger. Mia took his portrait and searched for him throughout the mansion. A maid said he had probably gone to the children's lounge, but knowing him, Mia figured he would be hiding somewhere deserted. Mia wandered through the rooms alone. Suddenly, she froze. This was the place where she'd encountered the kidnappers in her dream. And at this moment, 3 kidnappers were here, plotting to abduct a little girl. Mia wondered how they could discuss kidnapping so brazenly, unafraid of being discovered. Turns out they were using soundproofing tools given by Lorraine to mask their voices. But they were ineffective against Mia's higher-level bracelet. Mia planned to put them to sleep before they could act. Unexpectedly, the kidnappers discovered her, just as their claws were about to reach her. Shuta revealed his true form and scooped her up, sprinting down the hallway. The kidnappers hurried after Mia. A 5-year-old directly confronting adult demons was unrealistic. She had to hide. They spotted an empty room nearby and rushed inside. Just as Mia caught her breath, she found Wan Lai Li there. Wan Lai Li, thinking Mia had come to mock her, tearfully asked if she was happy to have stolen her friends. Mia quickly covered her mouth, afraid her voice would attract the kidnappers. But it was too late. The door was kicked open. 3 men walked in, grinning wickedly, thrilled with their 2-for-1 luck. However, Wan Lai Li stepped forward first, summoning her familiars, ready to fight. Mia also unleashed her dream powers, facing the sinister and terrifying familiars of the villains. She was confident these people were no match for her. The courage her father gave her allowed her to look down on everyone. Mia hurled insults at the kidnappers to distract them. "You scum, fit only to be watchdogs. Bark like one for me." The kidnappers, enraged, prepared to attack Mia, unaware that her dream powers had already enveloped them. "It's time you tasted nightmares." The 2 little girls bravely fought back. The adults, meanwhile, were watching the live feed next door. The king asked Duke Dwindle, "Aren't you going to protect her?" The Duke, however, had faith in Mia. He believed a sprout that only lived in a greenhouse could never grow into a large tree. The future was long, and he couldn't protect her forever. This incident would serve as a trial for Mia, and it was a trial under the watchful eyes of all the high-ranking demons. Mia continued her barrage of insults to enrage the kidnappers, earning the king's praise. "Your daughter sure knows how to curse." The Duke even considered compiling a book of her quotes. The Duchess raised her glass. "Let's toast to Mia's sharp tongue." The king continued to praise Mia's intelligence and abilities, even suggesting she had the potential to be a king. The Duke, however, didn't want Mia involved in power struggles. The king sighed. "If I'd known being king would last this long, I wouldn't have taken the challenge." Cain, however, snuggled closer. "If you weren't king, we wouldn't be together. Just think of it as becoming king for me." With his beloved in his arms, the king stopped fretting. Who could argue when his partner loved supreme power? Abel rushed in, worried about Mia's safety. Suddenly, Tina burst into the room, shouting that Mia had been kidnapped by Lorraine. This was also part of Mia's plan. Whether she was kidnapped or not, the moment those words were spoken, everyone present would be locked down and investigated. This would make it difficult for the kidnappers to escape. The Duke would also understand that this announcement was a hint, alerting him to a kidnapping plot at the banquet. The plan was so meticulous that even Abel praised Mia's genius. By now, the kidnappers, affected by the dream powers, had fallen asleep. Although Wan Lai Li had acted decisively and swiftly during the fight, she was now trembling with fear. Mia patted her reassuringly. Wan Lai Li tried to remain stoic, her face still set in a stubborn expression. But in the end, she couldn't help but sob. After all, she was just a little girl the same age as Mia. Through this experience, the two girls' relationship grew closer. As comrades who fought side by side, Mia praised Wan Lai Li's bravery and handsomeness. Wan Lai Li also let go of her prejudice against Mia and decided to become friends with her. Although Wan Lai Li's attitude was still somewhat awkward, Mia happily accepted her offer of friendship. Wan Lai Li apologized to Mia for her previous harsh words. Mia then gave her a bracelet. She wanted Wan Lai Li to become a special friend. At this moment, Duke Dwindle finally arrived. Mia rushed into her father's arms. The Duke praised Mia for everything she had done. At the same time, he glanced coldly at the nannies on the ground. Endless interrogation awaited these traitors. He was very curious about what Lorraine's conspiracy truly was. Although there was a small incident, it didn't affect the perfect conclusion of the banquet. Mia gave the last special friendship bracelet to Heidi, believing she would be helpful to her future business endeavors. Exhausted after a long day, Mia collapsed on her bed, happily reminiscing about the wonderful things she had gained. Mia rubbed her hands together, ready to formulate her business plan. According to Marquis Savnak's advice, Mia decided to target children as her customer base. Children all love cotton candy, milk, and music boxes, and the fallen leaves of the world tree. Hairpins made from these leaves would surely sell well. Mia looked at Shuda, who had already fallen asleep beside her. She remembered everyone's exclamations upon seeing him earlier. If she sold dolls in Shuda's likeness, they would definitely be popular. Mia also listed many other things children would use. She had a great idea. Instead of selling items individually, she would gather everything into a large marketplace. If customers could choose, try, and buy everything in one place, it would definitely attract a lot of business. Even if there was malicious competition, she wouldn't be afraid. Because she was a demon, she had the power to protect her belongings. Just as Mia was immersed in her bright vision of the future, a sudden explosion came from outside the window. It was a loud and boisterous rumble. Mia was about to go and investigate when she noticed someone on the balcony. It was Uriel. He had been waiting for Mia there and had witnessed the spectacle of the demons who had inappropriate thoughts about her being blown away by Abel's landmines. Uriel told Mia that he would be leaving for a long time. Before he left, he wanted to show Mia something. It was a statue he had carved from a tree, fulfilling a promise he had made to her. Mia sensed the sadness in his words and agreed to go with him. Uriel took the girl's hand, held her in his arms, and lightly tapped his toes, soaring into the air with Mia. Under the night sky, the young man's handsome face was revealed, his features sharp and defined. They landed in a nearby garden. Uriel led Mia along a path. Suddenly, Mia was captivated by the sight before her. It was a statue of a unicorn, its horns shining with a dazzling light, appearing holy and bright. Mia was momentarily stunned by this dazzlingly beautiful sight. Lost in admiration, she turned to Uriel, ready to express her delight, but found herself unable to look away. Beneath the young man's golden hair, his fair skin was as smooth and delicate as porcelain. His watery red eyes were like starlight, full of mystery and allure. Just a slight smile from him made even the stars in the sky lose their color. Season 1 finale. A silver-haired man sat upon a high seat. His expression was blank, his gaze icy. As the god of all rain, El Holler held the most exalted position. People revered him, but they also feared him. A man in black clothing knelt nervously on the ground. Because the mission to kidnap the demon girl had failed, his only fate was to atone with his life. At this critical moment, he begged for another chance. El Holler looked coldly at the worthless man before him. He bribed some demons, ordering them to Duke Dwindle's mansion to kidnap a young female demon. They returned empty-handed, and the demons were captured. El Holler, looking defeated, asked about the thing's current status. The man in black replied that the brainwashing process still required some time. To eradicate demons and proclaim himself a god, El Holler of the Lorraine Holy Tribe devised a vicious plan, brainwashing demons to attack other demons, a project called demon weaponization. However, they were making slow progress brainwashing the female demon they currently possessed, but they had no other choice. She was the only female demon they had. A subordinate reported new information. The star girl at Duke Dwindle's mansion seemed to possess special abilities. El Holler reacted, "Could it be the girl who escaped from us?" That child's mother, a holy woman, feigned obedience but secretly yearned to rebel. She even dared to bear a demon's child. However, this child will be of great use to us. My subordinates will use any means necessary to retrieve that child. As long as we have her, victory will be ours. If she dares to resist, we'll capture and brainwash her. She must be living happily now. Lock her up and let her despair. The thought excites me. Meanwhile, at Duke Dwindle's mansion, Mia slept restlessly. She was ill. The girl had a romantic late-night rendezvous with a young man and caught a cold from the night air. Mia lay ill with a sore throat. Abel teased her about being frail, but still had special medicine prepared for her. 5 marshmallows if you take your medicine properly. For the sake of marshmallows, Mia endured the bitter medicine, her face contorting. But remembering last night's fleeting glimpse, Mia blushed involuntarily. Abel thought her fever had returned. Uriel seemed perfectly tailored to Mia's tastes. He embodied all the qualities she admired, like a gift specifically designed for her. Wait, what am I thinking? Mia felt like she was losing her mind. Her thoughts were consumed by him. Her heart fluttered uncontrollably. A servant delivered a stack of books, a gift from Marquis Savnak's family. Mia eagerly opened a book, hoping to distract herself from Uriel. Inside was a letter. Heidi thanked Mia for the bracelet and the special unicorn doll. Abel urged Mia to rest, but she was determined to read. As Abel left, Mia called out to him. She remembered her dream about the mandragora poison and Abel's death. Would it happen again? Could she prevent it? Seeing Abel's confused expression, Mia shook her head and simply said, "Thank you." The next day, Mia was fully recovered. She visited the children she had rescued from the toy store. They were thriving, each one with a cheerful smile. Mia's visit wasn't just to check on them. She was laying the foundation for her future endeavors. She asked for their opinions. Did they want to leave and live freely? Or stay and learn skills, building a future together? These orphan children didn't understand Mia's kindness. She saw them as partners and friends. Touched, the children hugged each other. Shuda then alerted Mia to something behind her. Mia turned around and saw Abel's incredibly intense gaze. Abel was feeling down. He'd been busy taking care of his sister, only to receive a simple thank you. Meanwhile, those unrelated children got to hug him. To appease the jealous Abel, Mia decided to take him along for market research. She listed the products she wanted to sell. The variety was so extensive that the list went on forever. She also wanted to use a unicorn as the trademark logo and put it on all the products. That way, as soon as people saw the unicorn, they would know it was something from Mia and Shuda. Unicorns are so cute. Everyone would want one. So, to avoid any regrets, everyone would rush to buy them. The girl was Yi Xin Xiangdong Shi Ye, accompanied by Abel. The siblings went to the shops to do market research. However, the results weren't very satisfactory. Just as they were about to move on to the next shop, they bumped into Heidi. What a coincidence. Mia just happened to have a ton of questions she wanted to ask him. Mia rattled off a bunch of questions. Abel left the two to chat alone and went off to wander around by himself. Mia wanted to hire skilled craftspeople, but she didn't know how to contact them. She couldn't possibly run around to every workshop looking for people. Heidi had a good idea. With Mia's authority and capital, she could directly post a recruitment notice in the newspaper. The Entrepreneurs Guild publishes a hiring newspaper every month for workers to choose from. Mia remembered that she had dreamt of this kind of thing. Let's do it then. Mia was curious why Heidi didn't have to go to the royal palace. Heidi explained that he had some things to deal with these few days. When Mia had time, she could go to the palace to visit him. But thinking of the king's eager look, Mia decided against it. She was afraid that if she went, she wouldn't be able to leave. The most important thing right now was her business. Mia planned to invite Heidi and Valerie to come and visit once her new shop opened. She wondered if the kidnapping incident had affected him at all. Heidi sighed, admitting that he envied Mia for having a good older brother. He was an only child and therefore longed for the warmth of sibling companionship. Mia said, "Having a brother is nice, but sometimes Abel throws little tantrums and I have to coax him." Speaking of Abel, at that moment, he had a man cornered against a wall. He had noticed this person suspiciously following Mia. He was still angry about those men trying to get close to Mia at the banquet. Seeing the stalker made him even angrier. The man explained that he was just an innocent passerby. "I must have been mistaken. I'm so sorry. Who are you trying to fool? Do you think I'm blind?" Abel's eyes narrowed. He grabbed the man by the neck and slammed him against the wall. This person was clearly a spy sent by Lorraine. Abel demanded to know his purpose, flames flickering around him. "Tell me, or I'll kill you." The man was choking. He said that if Abel promised to protect him, he would tell him everything. But the next second, the man suddenly began convulsing violently. Then his body exploded into flames. Abel was stunned by this sudden turn of events. His familiar, Aiton, said Lorraine rigged this guy. As soon as he had any thought of betrayal, he would self-destruct. How cruel. Worried about Mia's safety, he told Aiton to go protect her and investigate the surrounding area. After Abel left, in an unnoticed corner, a firefly flickered its light, slowly drifting away in the glow of the blood-red sunset. Mia was overwhelmed, looking at the table piled high with resumes. She had taken Heidi's advice and placed a recruitment ad in the hiring newspaper. Just because she raised the wages a little, the overwhelming flood of applications nearly buried her. After a long day of interviews, Mia was exhausted. She forced herself awake with a strong cup of tea. She began the final interview for the carpenter position. Her notes told her the other applicants seemed to have given up. There was only one person left outside. "What's with all these applications?" "Hello, Mia." A familiar scent wafted over. It was Uriel. Mia was shocked. "What are you doing here?" Uriel said he had seen the advertisement and came to apply. Mia was a bit troubled. A skilled artist like him actually wanted to work in her small workshop. The young man's smile was very mature. He frankly stated he wanted to be the head of crafting. After all, he understood the industry very well and had good relationships with many of the artisans. He was capable of handling the position. Seeing Mia still hesitate, Uriel added, "Actually, I don't necessarily have to work in crafting. As long as I can be by your side, that's fine. Aren't we special friends?" Mia was almost defeated by this gentle offensive. "No, I'm a demon with principles. Even if they were friends, shouldn't business be business?" Mia was conflicted. On one hand, she really wanted to work with Uriel, but his skills were too advanced. She couldn't offer him appropriate compensation. "I can work without pay. As long as I can help you, that's enough." "No, that's not fair to you." Even if she couldn't afford to pay him now, she would give him shares later. Seeing Mia's firm attitude, Uriel couldn't refuse any further. "Then thank you, boss. My, Uriel sure knows how to talk." Then Uriel offered to take Mia to see his studio as a way to familiarize her with the workshop in advance. Mia was immediately interested, but Tina stepped forward to object. She couldn't let Mia go alone. So, Mia took her two attendants with her to the studio entrance, but they could only stay at the door. Uriel only allowed Mia to enter. The two reluctantly said goodbye to Mia. Upon entering the room, Mia was amazed by the various sculptures. Preoccupied with looking around, she didn't notice the loose block under her feet. She stumbled and was about to fall. Fortunately, Uriel was quick to react and caught her. Looking at his face so close, Mia blushed crimson. Flustered, she tried to get up quickly, but accidentally knocked over a nearby tool. A hammer spun 1,080 degrees in the air and smashed into a nearby statue. After a clattering crash, Mia was dumbfounded. On her first visit to the studio, she had smashed someone else's sculpture to pieces. Mia was stunned into silence. She had caused a huge disaster. Uriel must be furious. What if he hated her now? Mia was anxiously trying to figure out how to apologize, but Uriel stared at the broken sculpture and sighed. This is truly an excellent piece. An unfinished work, destroyed by a young demon lord. Isn't this a beautiful coincidence? Mia was stunned. This artist's perspective was truly difficult to understand. Uriel even wanted to exhibit this accidental creation. Mia couldn't tell if he was trying to comfort her, or if he genuinely thought it was art, but at least he wasn't blaming her. Uriel pointed to a statue covered with a white cloth and told Mia it was an unfinished work that he would show her later. After the tour, the two were chatting and preparing to leave. But the moment they opened the door, they saw a furious Abel. He hadn't expected that, despite all his precautions, his precious little sister had still been whisked away by this rascal. Mia quickly explained to him why Uriel had brought her to see the studio. But Abel, already wary of this alluring individual, was furious to see him alone with Mia. No matter how Mia explained, the look he gave Uriel was pure disdain. Uriel, however, remained polite, explaining that he was only helping Mia out of friendship. Do you think I'll believe that? Uriel responded calmly, believe what you will, seeing Abel about to lose his temper. Mia quickly dragged and pushed Abel back home, apologizing to Uriel as she went. We'll meet again. After watching Mia leave, Uriel returned to the Beelzebub estate. Upon seeing the young master return, the butler complained that the head of the house had lost $800 million today. It turned out Uriel's father was hopelessly addicted to gambling, nearly squandering the entire family fortune. Uriel was exasperated with his father. One irresponsible man. He thought of his mother. Her identity would also bring him trouble. Uriel could only rely on himself. Although his father was about to lose everything, this was all part of Uriel's plan. The casino owner was actually one of his subordinates. Uriel deliberately sent his gambling-obsessed father there, precisely to let him squander the family assets. Once his father's power was gone, he could naturally become the head of the Beelzebub family. Besides this, Uriel also had another life in the human world. He possessed substantial hidden assets. These were all paths he had paved for his future. Suddenly, the room was bathed in a dazzling light. It was Uriel's familiar, the nine-tailed fox Mora, who knew illusion magic, acting affectionately towards him. The butler hesitantly asked, who was that noble young lady who visited the studio today? The butler was surprised that the usually solitary young master had brought a girl to his studio. Has the sun risen in the west? Uriel admitted he hadn't intended to approach Mia. After all, they were from completely different worlds. But even after knowing he was Beelzebub's son, Mia didn't look down on him. Instead, she was willing to befriend him and appreciate his art. When Uriel was born, his mother abandoned him. Although raising children was the male demon's duty, his father also neglected him. To survive, Uriel had seen too much ugliness in the world, warping his perspective. However, although Mia shared a similar painful past to some extent, she was completely different. Thinking of this, Uriel's face lit up with a smile. She said she liked my sculptures not because of my face, my scent, or anything else, but simply because of my sculptures. Seeing the young master's happy expression, the butler was moved to tears. Now, nothing made Uriel happier than seeing Mia. He felt a surge of inspiration, wanting to create something. The person who could evoke this feeling in him must be his muse. I need her. To not lose her, I must become a candidate for her hand. Uriel prepared to go to the imperial palace to tell his mother. Years ago, Duke Beelzebub's infatuation was well known. Everyone thought it was a romantic love story. But in Uriel's mother's eyes, many things were more important than love, such as the highest power in the human world, the Emperor's throne. The Emperor hadn't seen her son in a while. It was rare for Uriel to seek her out. Could it be he was willing to become the crown prince? Absolutely not. Don't even dream of it, mother. Uriel brought up the prophecy he received from the world tree. You are destined to die once for something. Recently, out of curiosity, he had visited the world tree again. The prophecy had become clearer. Your love is your death. It is also deeply connected to your soul. The moment you feel love, the gears of fate begin to turn. You are destined to die once for the demon you love. Uriel felt that this demon must be his muse. Emperor Xiao Dao, it seems you are much like your father in the way you go mad for love. If I truly fall in love with that girl, I should be able to leave behind the greatest work of all time, and then leave this world with a smile. In his and his mother's eyes, they would rather achieve their dreams, even at the cost of their lives, than live a life without dreams. The emperor was curious about the girl. Uriel Xiao Dao replied, "You definitely won't like her because her last name is Dwindle." The emperor's expression changed. That annoying Dwindle, that bastard's daughter. The emperor had also heard about the little girl who suddenly appeared at the parade. He became curious about what kind of child Mia was that could make his son repeatedly praise her cuteness. A few weeks later, Mia, hearing that Uriel had finished the samples, excitedly awaited his arrival. Abel, looking annoyed, complained, couldn't he have just sent someone? Why does he have to come himself? Back and forth, the siblings started arguing again. Mia stormed out angrily. She bumped into her father, who had come to see her. But Mia didn't expect her father to stay and wait for Uriel with her. The atmosphere suddenly became serious. The two of them felt irritated the moment they saw the boy. They had a strong sense of foreboding that their precious daughter was about to be stolen away by this bad boy. Mia happily greeted Uriel upon his arrival, but turning around and seeing the displeased expressions on her father and brother's faces, she was confused. They were the ones who encouraged her to make more friends. Why were they treating him differently now? At that moment, Uriel suddenly swayed and fainted. Mia was startled by his pale face. She quickly asked him what was wrong. Uriel explained that he was just a little dizzy. Looking at the weak boy, Mia's sympathy overflowed. She didn't understand why her father and brother were so harsh to someone so frail. Abel was speechless. Frail where? Seeing that the two were about to argue, Uriel quickly pulled Mia aside. Forcing a smile, he said, "I'm often like this. I just felt a very strong aura." Mia anxiously helped him to a chair to rest. At this moment, the Duke, who had been silent, spoke with barely concealed anger in his voice. "Your acting is truly superb. Are you putting on this frail act to win my daughter's heart? How could that be? I really am not well." Mia didn't understand why her father and Abel were so prejudiced against Uriel. After a moment of thought, Mia decided to talk to her father. She explained that she considered Uriel a good friend because she needed him. She needed a partner who was very skilled in crafting. He could be of great help to her in her career. Mia treasured such a talented individual. Therefore, she also hoped that her father and Abel could acknowledge him and accept her true friend. After understanding the reason, the Duke suggested seeing Uriel's work first. As the mysterious object was unveiled, everyone present was stunned by the effect presented by the work. Abel was dumbfounded. He hadn't expected that sly Uriel to be so able to feign weakness in front of Mia, then turn around and give him a provocative smile. How could he, the dignified young master of the Duke, suffer such humiliation? He didn't know what kind of love potion that kid had given Mia, and now he couldn't even punch him to vent his anger. Abel had never felt so frustrated. His father now also knew that Uriel held a special place in Mia's heart. Rash intervention would only cause Mia's resentment. Abel swore he would expose Uriel's true nature. He decided to go find some other guys to beat up and vent his frustration. Mia and Uriel were still discussing the details of the merchandise. Mia was worried that he was overworking himself and couldn't handle the strain. Uriel simply found her naive and endearing. Although he was feigning frailty, it was pleasant to have someone worry about him. It truly lifted his spirits. At that moment, Mia made a request. She wanted to see what Uriel's familiar looked like. Mia's eyes sparkled like jewels. She was curious to know what his exclusive familiar was like. The girl's inquisitive look piqued Uriel's interest. He told Mia, mysteriously, that the familiar only appeared under special circumstances. Furthermore, it had 9 tails and was closer to a yokai. After all, when Uriel first saw it, he was captivated by its dark and sinister aura. It was so unique. Then Uriel said he was a little hungry. If he didn't eat something with Mia, he might faint on the way home. He feigned weakness again because he enjoyed seeing Mia worry about him and care for him. Upon hearing this, Mia, as expected, arranged for the servants to prepare a meal. She said she would have Uten bring over some delicious food. Who was Uten? A scary butler or a chef? Whoever it was, Uriel didn't want Mia mentioning anyone else's name while they were alone. After all, Mia was his muse. That night, Mia suddenly found herself unable to sleep. Thinking about everything that had happened recently, she felt a pang of guilt. She felt terrible for Abel. As her brother, he was truly good to her. She had never done anything for him, and instead, she was always snapping at him because of Uriel. He must be angry. Otherwise, why wouldn't he come to see her? Mia wanted to apologize, but she didn't know how to start. Then should have gave her an idea. Get a good night's sleep first. Tomorrow, go pick out some beautiful jewelry and personally inlay the jewels into a banquet. Then give it to Abel. He should like that. It was a great idea. Mia decided to go to the jewelry store tomorrow and buy gifts for her father and Cain, her other brother, while she was at it. As for Uriel, after these 2 days of interaction, Mia realized he always maintained a certain distance from others. Was it because he had always been alone? Or perhaps he simply didn't want to get too close to her? This time, she would only prepare gifts for her family. Uriel would understand. Mia drifted off to sleep peacefully. Slowly, she entered a dream. Only this dream was a bit peculiar, because as soon as she opened her eyes, she saw someone sleeping soundly on her lap. A familiar yet somewhat strange aura, like a grown-up Uriel. Suddenly, Mia realized she was also in her grown-up form. Why was this happening? Uriel was awakened by Mia's movement. What's wrong, Mia? The man's sleepy eyes seemed to hold a certain magic that captivated Mia. Was this a prophetic dream? Why was it so different from before? Meeting the man's puzzled gaze, Mia could only say she felt a little dizzy. Uriel's eyes lowered as he leaned in closer, an ambiguous air diffusing between them. My Mia. The man's scent lingered around her, so sweet and intoxicating that Mia's mind went blank. The girl dreamt of her grown-up self, but in the dream, she was being held in a man's arms. Looking at the man's face so close to hers, Mia called out Uriel in bewilderment. But the man looked puzzled. Why are you calling me that? With our relationship, you should be using my pet name. Mia's heart rate shot up to 180. What relationship? What pet name? Could it really be what she was thinking? Mia's reaction disappointed Uriel. He asked with a pout, "You haven't forgotten that we're lovers, have you?" Mia instinctively denied it. But Uriel asked Mia to kiss him as proof, just like last night. Mia's heart skipped a beat, and her mind went blank. But now, she couldn't do something like that no matter what. Yet, Uriel took the initiative and kissed her. Mia woke up with a start. She was incredibly embarrassed and couldn't believe she had such a dream. Could this be a prophetic dream? Did it mean she would be with Uriel in the future? But she only saw Uriel as a friend right now. How would she face him in the future? Meanwhile, Uriel also woke from his sleep. He had the exact same dream as Mia. Was it because subconsciously, he deeply longed for this kind of future? Everything in the dream felt so real that even he felt a little lost and uncertain. The next morning, Mia and her father went to the jewelry store together. To facilitate his work, the Duke was followed by his aide, working anytime, anywhere. Noticing his daughter's displeasure, the Duke immediately put down his documents to spend time with her. The exhausted aide finally got a break. The Duke grandly instructed Philip to bring out the best diamonds in the store. Looking at the various jewels, Mia chose a deep blue sapphire for her brother Cain and a fiery red ruby for Abel. When it was the Duke's turn, he personally chose a black diamond. Mia learned from her father that 100 years ago, Philip's grandfather was one of the first employees hired by this store. It had been passed down for 3 generations. This made Mia curious. Were her father's demons all long-lived? Their lifespans varied depending on their rank. Lower-ranking demons had similar lifespans to humans. Ultimate demons could live to around 150 years old. Higher-ranking demons, if they didn't do anything reckless, could live for 300 years without a problem. Mia panicked. Wouldn't that mean Tina and Doria would die long before her? How long could her father stay with her? The Duke stroked Mia's hair, comforting her. A supreme being like him was a man even death wouldn't dare approach. As a supreme demon, the Duke was a being even death feared. Mia, who had been afraid of her father leaving, finally relaxed. She secretly resolved to become stronger and stay by her father's side forever. Philip also brought out the store's treasure, a sparkling black diamond. His dedicated work ethic made Mia envious of her own employees. If only they were as diligent as Philip. The Duke suggested she give her employees a raise. The more capable they were, the more rewards they should receive. This way, employees would work harder. Unexpectedly, just as the two of them stepped out of the store, something happened. The Duke's familiar, Hera, suddenly appeared, shielding Mia. The deafening roar. caused the ground to tremble. An incredibly powerful force slammed straight into the jewelry store. The entire area instantly turned into ruins. Mia was safe in her father's arms. The sudden incident frightened Mia badly. Seeing the blood on her father, her mind went blank. Her father was injured. He was injured protecting her. The Duke summoned Hera back and told him to take Mia home. Ignoring Mia's worried cries, the Duke turned and left. Back home, Mia saw Abel as if he were her savior. Crying, she described everything that had just happened. A large white arrow had fallen from the sky. Her father was injured protecting her, and he bled a lot. Seeing Mia on the verge of collapse, Abel pulled her into a hug and comforted her. But Mia remembered her previous prophetic dream. In the dream, her father was seriously injured. Could that dream be referring to what just happened? Abel told her to calm down. Father is incredibly powerful, strong beyond your wildest imagination. But in that dream, Dad was tied up, unable to fight back. It was so painful for me. As the dream demon, I can't tell anyone about my prophetic dreams. Knowing the future is a lonely thing. I have to deal with it myself. And my familiar, shoulda, nuzzle close to me. I exist only for you. Hera also comforted me. As long as the familiar is alive, it means their master is alive too. So don't worry too much. Abel laughed at how easily scared I was. To be this frightened after seeing a Leyraven attack for the first time. Father told him to go home, not because the scene was too dangerous, but because he didn't want him to see the bloody carnage caused by the Leyraven. After all, this was nothing to Father. I was still uneasy. Are they telling the truth? The demon Duke was injured by a 50-meter blade to protect you. I cried in worry, but Abel just chuckled. Father is incredibly powerful. Even if he's injured, he probably did it on purpose. I was confused. What do you mean? By getting injured on purpose, he can avoid working for the human emperor. So don't worry. Are you joking with me? Now I cried even harder. I thought something terrible had happened to Dad. I thought I'd gotten him killed. I had already caused Mother's death. What would I do if something happened to Dad too? Abel hugged me tightly, letting me cry it out. Abel, you can't die either. Absolutely not. Thankfully, with everyone's comfort, I finally calmed down. I was eating cake with Hera, when suddenly, a black gust of wind swept through and the demon Duke appeared before me. I immediately rushed to hug Dad. Seeing that he was truly safe and sound, I finally felt relieved. Then I asked about Philip. The Duke told me not to worry. Philip was saved by healing magic. He's all right now. Recalling the terrifying scene, I couldn't understand why the Leyraven would attack Philip's jewelry store. The Duke explained to me. Actually, the demons and the Leyraven have been at war for a long time. Both sides have suffered heavy losses, so they've reached a temporary truce, but the war could break out again at any moment. So it's not surprising that the Leyraven would attack ordinary humans who follow the demon faith. I hate war. If war breaks out, there will be many casualties on both sides. Many people will lose their loved ones. But I can't force all demons to stop fighting just because I hate war. After all, they also need to avenge their relatives who were killed by the Leyraven. I have no right to object. The Duke thought I was worried about who would win. He told me to go to sleep without worry. The demons won't lose. But in that prophetic dream, I clearly saw the demons utterly defeated. I forced myself to fall asleep quickly. I wanted to see that prophetic dream again. What exactly happened to put Dad in that situation? I have to save him. I finally have a family and happiness. I won't let anyone take them away from me. A magical light flickered, and I fell flat on my bottom. I had entered the dream world to save my father. As the dream demon, I decided to journey into the dream world to uncover the secrets of the future. But this dream was different from the others. My body felt incredibly heavy. Even walking freely was difficult. Should have told me, this is someone else's dream. Mia had read in her diary that dream demons can usually enter dreams of their choosing. But sometimes, they can be pulled into the dreams of others by their fervent wishes. Just then, Mia suddenly heard a cry for help. It was the voice of a female demon. Mia struggled to move along the cliff face. The surrounding environment was harsh. Gravel and debris tumbled down around her. Mia searched for a long time, but couldn't see anyone. Just as she was about to search elsewhere, the cries for help rang out again. But as far as Mia could see, there were only stones. At that moment, a large stone suddenly shifted. Mia cautiously approached. She saw a desperate face appear in the crevice. "Help me! Save me!" Mia was instantly horrified. The Demon Duke was discussing the Raven attack with Abel. Many demon-owned businesses had been attacked, resulting in heavy losses. Moreover, this attack was likely directly ordered by El Holler. Humans worshipped and believed in him. Yet, he turned the souls of his believers into weapons, wielding them recklessly. News had arrived that the war was about to begin. The Duke ordered Abel to stay by Mia's side at all times and protect her. However, in Abel's eyes, Uriel was currently more troublesome than the Raven. If that kid dared to harass Mia again, he wouldn't let him off the hook. Just then, they suddenly heard Mia scream. Everyone rushed into her room. Seeing Mia caught in a nightmare, Abel softly comforted her. Mia couldn't understand. She just wanted to take another look at the dream of lust. So why was she having such a terrible nightmare? At this moment, the perpetrator of all this, the hero El Holler, was admiring his handiwork. "Dwindle, did you receive my greetings? Are you satisfied with my intentions?" El Holler felt victory was within his grasp. He had finally discovered the Demon Duke's weakness. He would definitely steal away the things Dwindle cherished. Upon learning of the attack on Mia, Uriel immediately wanted to visit her. He was a little nervous on the way. He was anxious about whether visiting her so suddenly would be too presumptuous. Just then, a statue by the roadside caught his attention. Although the carving wasn't particularly skillful, Uriel noticed at a glance that it was a piece jointly carved by a couple. They were so engrossed in the creative process that they forgot the passage of time. Uriel thought about how he often lost track of time when designing product sketches for Mia. This was a reaction he only had towards Mia. A small yearning arose in Uriel's heart. Would that girl feel the same way about him? Because of the nightmare, Mia slept groggily until noon. When Doria told her that Uriel had been waiting for a long time, she hurriedly climbed out of bed. Suddenly, Doria's face lit up with surprise. It turned out that Mia had grown taller overnight. Not only her body, but her hair had also grown considerably longer. Mia was very excited. It seemed she wasn't far from her first growth spurt. Uriel was having tea in the living room. Mia excitedly ran towards him. "Uriel, look at me. I've grown so much." Uriel was also pleased with Mia's changes. "It seems I can't call you little one anymore." At this moment, Mia suddenly apologized to Uriel. "I'm so sorry to have kept you waiting for so long." "It's all right. I should be the one apologizing for visiting so suddenly. I was worried." Uriel brought homemade sweets, hoping to soothe Mia's fright. Mia was flattered. "Did you make all of these? I could never finish them all." Nevertheless, Mia tried her best to finish them. She couldn't let Uriel's kindness go to waste. Then, the two discussed Mia's business. They plan to set up a display for publicity before the store officially opens. It'll be in the plaza, since that's where demons, Raven, and humans all gather. The high-foot traffic will make for the best publicity. Uriel watched the girl, completely absorbed in her work. He was curious. Even if Mia did nothing, she would still live happily. Why did she work so hard every day? Mia had originally decided to do something to prove her abilities because she was worried her dad would think she was useless. But now, as a demon, she had the ability to earn money and gradually found joy in her work. Although it was sometimes hard work, in Mia's view, being able to do it with Uriel made the whole process particularly fun. She would never give up every moment spent with Uriel. The clever demon girl and the elegant, mysterious angel became the best business partners for each other. Mia looked at the samples Uriel brought, thrilled. Both the style and quality were top-notch. She generously praised Uriel's handiwork. He was a little shy being praised. Uriel confessed that he had experienced a long period of creative block. During that time, he had no desire or inspiration to create. But after meeting Mia, his inspiration continuously surged. He felt like he could create masterpieces that would make people feel like they were dreaming when they saw them. "Of course you can, because I happen to be a dream demon." Uriel marveled at Mia's ability. "I'll be counting on you from now on, my partner." That evening, on his way home, Uriel shared his joyful feelings of working with Mia with his butler. Then, he suddenly remembered Mia, saying she was a dream demon. Immediately, that ambiguous dream resurfaced in his mind. The two of them, embracing tightly, looked so in love. It was said that dream demons could bring others into their dreams. Could it be that Mia used her ability to make him have that kind of dream. Thinking of this, Uriel blushed. On the one hand, he felt that Mia was innocent and cute and couldn't possibly do such a thing. On the other hand, there was an indescribable excitement. So the next day, when he saw Mia again, he still couldn't completely calm down. His movements were stiff, and he didn't dare look directly at Mia. Seeing his flushed face, Mia thought he was sick. After their tireless efforts these past few days, the display was finally finished. Looking at the carefully decorated room, Mia was quite satisfied. Hand in hand, they admired their work together. Then, Uriel placed a flower in Mia's hair. He gently caressed Mia's face. "This is specially for you." The two smiled at each other, completely unaware of the furious Abel behind them. Angry flames filled Abel with rage. He gritted his teeth and squeezed out the words, "How dare you touch my sister's precious face with your hand?" Flames burned fiercely around him. This guy dared to come see Mia every day while he was away. Mia tried to calm him down, but the resentment Abel had accumulated over the past few days could no longer be suppressed. He yelled that Uriel was a damned fox. The erupting flames instantly engulfed the entire room. Mia watched as her hard work was about to be burned to ashes. In her panic, she cried out, "Dad." The next second, the demon Duke descended from the sky and pinned Abel to the ground. Upon hearing his precious daughter's call, the demon Duke descended from the sky and wrestled his son to the ground. "You brat, how dare you bully Mia? I haven't taught you a lesson in 3 days, and you're already climbing the walls." Abel was stunned for a long time after that slap. Mia hadn't expected her dad to actually come. She threw herself into her dad's arms and tearfully explained how the display she and Uriel had set up was burned. Abel finally regained his composure after his emotional outburst. He repeatedly apologized to Mia. "I'm sorry, Fluffy. I'm really, really sorry." At this moment, both father and son were surprised to find Mia crying. Abel felt like his time was up and frantically tried to soothe her. "Don't cry, please don't cry. I'll promise you anything, just don't cry. I'll buy you anything you want, okay?" Mia had initially only been slightly upset, but realizing she could get good things by crying, she decided to cry harder. She pushed Abel away, yelling that she never wanted to see him again. The demon Duke was very close to his eldest son. He was bewildered that Fluffy hated him so much. He paced anxiously, trying everything he could to appease Mia. "I'll give you a flowering island, okay? Or a huge botanical garden. Or I'll build you the most beautiful garden in the world." But Mia continued to wail. Then Uriel comforted her. "The display can be fixed. We just need to remove the burned parts and reassemble it." Mia's face lit up upon hearing this. She praised Uriel as a genius and then glared at the hero. Abel, knowing he was in the wrong, coaxed Mia. He offered to get her a valley with lots of little birds. Abel readily agreed. As long as his sister wasn't angry, anything was fine. Mia also told Abel not to call Uriel Fox anymore. What if she really did end up with Uriel? Would he continue to be so rude to him? Then what should I call him? Handsome. Both her father and Uriel chuckled at this. Mia was puzzled. Uriel was good-looking, so what was wrong with complimenting someone's appearance? Am I really that handsome? Seeing Mia's affirmative answer, Uriel leaned closer. "Then I'll be your handsome from now on." Watching the two of them chatting and laughing, the miserable Abel could only grit his teeth in silence. A few days later, Abel came to find Mia. He told her that the children had found the jewelry Mia had ordered in the ruins of the jewelry store destroyed by Leviathan. Only then did Mia remember that she hadn't given out those gifts yet. But who are the children? 2 young demons were brought before Mia. They were Sean, the speed demon, and Kuin, the right side demon. They were the guards Abel had arranged for Mia. Right side and speed. What does that mean? To protect his sister's safety, Abel had arranged 2 guards to protect Mia. They were Sean, the speed demon, and Kuin, the right side demon. What did speed and right side mean? Kuin blinked, and Mia was surprised to find that the right side of her body was paralyzed. But in the next second, her arms started moving uncontrollably. It turned out that the right side demon's ability was to control the right side of another person's body. How amazing! This ability would be very useful in crisis. Sean's ability was to change the speed of objects. So Mia experienced a bit of speed and excitement. After getting out of the carriage, she was incredibly dizzy. That was really fast. Sean quickly apologized. It was his fault that he couldn't control it well yet and had made the young lady suffer. Mia smiled and said it was okay. Today, she took the opportunity to visit her employees at the workshop. Although it was her territory, this was her first time there. Mia knocked on the door. A A craftsman, seeing such a young child, was a bit surprised. He immediately realized, isn't this our little boss? Then all the workers poured out, vying to greet Mia. They showed her the goods they had made. Mia was very pleased to see everyone so enthusiastic. The workers were all grateful to Mia for not refusing to hire them because of their age. She had valued their work experience and offered them generous terms and provided for their needs. Looking at these kind workers, Mia suddenly thought of her mother. Although I know nothing about her, she must have been beautiful and kind. If she were still alive, she would be proud of me now. After inspecting all the workshops, it was almost dark. Just as Mia was about to head back, she suddenly saw a familiar figure. It was her aunt. Her aunt no longer possessed her former elegant demeanor. She had become disheveled and haggard, her expression vacant. The workers around had seen her many times and thought she was a deranged madwoman. Her aunt also saw Mia and suddenly became agitated. She told Mia how much she missed her. She said she had been driven out by demons many times while searching for her. Mia asked her why she was looking for her. Because I have custody of you. I'm your legal guardian. But Mia said her name wasn't even on the Eblong family register. So how could there be any custody papers? Exposed, her aunt didn't give up. She even tried to take Mia away. Wanted to raise her herself. In the past, Mia would have longed for the love of a family member. But now she didn't need it. Her aunt continued to badger her. It was me who let you run away. Come with me now, and I'll take good care of you. Mia's servants, unable to bear it any longer, waited for her command to teach her aunt a lesson. Mia was no longer alone. She had her dad, Abel, and her demon companions. Her aunt posed no threat to her now. The noble woman had become a madwoman wandering the streets. She even deluded herself into thinking the girl she had abused would return to her embrace. But Mia had become strong. She didn't want to hear another word from her aunt. Seeing her sweet talk wasn't working, her aunt lunged at Mia in a rage. You little demon brat. But just as she was about to touch Mia, she suddenly stopped. Sean and Kuan had used their abilities to restrain her aunt, rendering her immobile. Looking at her aunt's Jungning face, Mia laughed. It's a good thing I'm more like a demon than a human. She raised her hand and used her dream power. This time, she would let her aunt experience the fear of being abused and imprisoned. Her aunt instantly fell into a deep sleep. In her dream, she was like Mia used to be, locked in a small dark room, fearing for her life. She pounded on the door, trying to escape, but entered a world engulfed in flames. Outside the door was Mia's receding figure. Her aunt tried to pursue Mia, but she stumbled and fell to the ground. Looking at her aunt lying there helpless, Mia didn't feel the joy of revenge she had expected. Her aunt had always hated Mia because she blamed Mia for her sister's death. But what had Mia done wrong? Goodbye, aunt. We won't meet again in reality. Mia brought her aunt back to the Demon Duke's palace. She would use her aunt to practice creating nightmares. The Demon Duke put her aunt in a small room in the corner and didn't comment, as they supported Mia's every decision. Just then, Kane suddenly appeared, much to Mia's delight. He hadn't been able to spend much time with her at the banquet last time. Today, Kane had come specifically to visit her. He held Mia in his arms and talked about the island Abel had bought for her. He asked if she wanted to turn it into an amusement park and build a super long slide connecting the mountains and the sea. It sounded like fun. Mia's eyes lit up with anticipation. Her dad was going to give her a tool that could summon mermaids, so she could fall asleep listening to their songs every night. The successive surprises made Mia overjoyed. This was the kind of extreme pampering she could only experience in this family. Compared to the suffering she had endured before, Mia now felt only happiness. Late at night, the Demon Duke and Kane were enjoying 50-year-old vintage wine. The father and son talked about Mia, both expressing admiration for her talent. However, a recent event had Kane worried. It had reached the point of causing widespread devastation. Because many powerful demons live within the territory, the concentrated demonic energy often triggers tornadoes. Therefore, many residents' homes suffer devastating damage. Recalling the first time he was caught in a tornado, Kane still feels lingering fear to this day. At the time, he had just undergone his first growth spurt, but in one fell swoop, he eliminated 6 tornadoes. This is also the reason the Demon King fell for him. Later, they both fell deeply in love and vowed to be lifelong partners. At this time, The Demon Duke asked Abel about the progress of the Kilo weapon research. It was complete, only lacking experimentation. The Demon Duke took out 2 slips of paper. Written on them was, "I want to have you. Be my toy." This is what the Demon Duke discovered on the weapon used to attack Mia. Cain and Abel recognized it at a glance as Ilhal's handiwork. Ilhal, as the oldest living Lelefin, has yet to undergo a second growth spurt because he is a being devoid of any emotion. Abel cursed him as a madman. He couldn't wait to use the new weapon to teach this guy, who was obsessed with his sister, a lesson. The Demon Duke's expression was grave. A great war between the demons and the Lelefin was about to erupt. Meanwhile, Mia was completely focused on her business. Today was the long-awaited opening day of her store. Mia chose the Imperial Plaza because it was a central location where humans, demons, and Lelefin all frequented. The high-foot traffic here was suitable for promotion and helped to spread her brand. However, Mia and Uriel waited for a long time, and not a single customer came. Could it be that her business was over before it even began? Finally, 2 customers arrived. Mia was just about to greet them when they started criticizing her, saying she didn't understand the market. They claimed that to open a shop in the plaza, she had to pay taxes to Ilhal. It turned out the 2 were humans who worshipped the Lelefin, using Ilhal's name to take advantage of the situation. Seeing that Mia and Uriel were unmoved, they threatened to smash her stall. The commotion attracted a crowd of onlookers. Mia had a brilliant idea. She walked up to the man and complimented him on his nice clothes, reaching out as if to touch them. She was brushed off by the man with a look of disgust. "You filthy demon." Suddenly, Mia collapsed to the ground with a thud. The man was bewildered. He hadn't even used any force. So how did she fall? The onlookers watched the girl wailing and crying, murmuring amongst themselves. Tina, disguised as a commoner, rushed out angrily, accusing the 2 men of assaulting a little girl in broad daylight. This was all part of Mia's plan. Having Tina, disguised as a commoner, appear at the right moment would further incite the crowd's emotions. This would subject the 2 men to moral condemnation. However, there were also humans who believed in the Lelefin. They listened to the men's excuses and, in turn, accused Mia, as a demon, of being a habitual liar. The humans supporting the Lelefin and the demons quickly began to argue. Seeing the situation spiraling out of control, Mia had to ask Uriel for help. Uriel gave Mia a leave-it-to-me smile. Mia noticed that the fragrance on Uriel was stronger than usual. He was using his power of temptation. Uriel stepped in front of the crowd, and everyone instantly fell silent. "Everyone, please calm down. We have some wonderful products prepared for the children here. Let's all go inside and have a look." With just a smile, everyone flocked into Mia's shop to browse the merchandise. Watching her shop being cleared out, Mia was impressed. Uriel's ability was perfect for business. The boy simply smiled, and it triggered a frantic buying spree. Seeing the emptied shop, Mia was stunned. Uriel was her lucky charm. Uriel suggested that when the shop officially opened, he would embed jewels containing his power into the doorknob. The tempting fragrance would surely attract people's attention. Seeing Uriel working so hard, Mia worried he would exhaust himself. But Uriel said he wasn't tired at all. "I'm very strong. Feel for yourself." He held out his arm to Mia. His muscles were firm and powerful, hard as rock. Mia remembered Uriel's skill in sculpting. He must be very strong. Just then, the boy suddenly leaned close to the girl. "Even if it's truly difficult, as long as you want me to do it, I'll agree." The intimate words made Mia momentarily stunned. No matter what, as long as she's with Uriel, she's incredibly happy. Having earned her first pot of gold, Mia counted the money until her hand cramped. Her dream is to build a castle out of the gold coins she earns. Then Uriel will be happy for her too. Just then, Mia received a card from Cain. He invited her to spend the day with him. Cain, having learned about Mia opening a shop, suggested opening a shop in every major city in the imperial capital. But Mia didn't have that much money. "It's okay. Big Brother will buy them for you first. You can pay me back in 10 years. Well, I have to pay rent." Mia had her own little scheme. "If I don't have to pay rent, then I think Big Brother Cain is even busier than Dad." Cain was amused by Mia. With such a cute little sister acting coy, how could he refuse? Since Sean has teleportation, Cain had him take them around to various locations. It was Mia's first time shopping and buying while strolling around. She signed her name on one property deed after another. Now she was a little rich woman who owned 9 buildings. Looking at her always calm and composed older brother, Cain, Mia vowed to become an excellent demon just like him. Just then, Cain covered Mia's eyes. He had another surprise for her. As Sean used his teleportation ability, Mia felt a moist, fresh breeze on her face. The sea. Cain brought her to the island Abel had prepared for her. Branches swayed, seabirds circled overhead. It was truly as beautiful as a dream. For easy walking on the beach, Cain had thoughtfully prepared sandals. Looking at her elder brother who took such good care of her, Mia couldn't help but sigh. Is it only someone as mature and steady as him who is worthy of being the Demon King's partner?